Hello, what's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see you. Gooby MN, first time sub, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you, thank you. Standard is dead. Why are you playing Standard? I mean, we got new Aftermath cards. We're trying to make Standard less dead, and maybe we just lose to Rakdos and a Tally all the time. Who knows? But one thing I've learned over the years is we can lose a lot of Game of Magic and still have fun. So we're gonna try to do some cool things in Standard today. Although I will say, so there was an announcement today, a sort of announcement of an announcement to some extent. But so Wizards, they just did a stream about bannings and how they're gonna handle them moving forward. And there's, I would say, good news and bad news. The good news is we're getting a Standard BNR announcement. We're getting a Standard BNR announcement on the 29th, so 2 weeks from yesterday. So I imagine after today, we probably won't do too many Standard streams until the 29th, because we're going to be waiting for Fable to go, and hopefully a bunch of other stuff as well. So I expect this to be probably our last Standard stream unless something changes until the BNR announcement. Why so long? So I totally disagree with this reasoning, but hey, happy birthday, Sebby. Yeah, happy birthday. So yeah, I disagree with this reasoning, but I can see where Wizards coming from. That question was asked, why wait so long? We all know something needs to change. And the answer was there's an arena championship the 27th and the 28th. And they don't want to change things because people might be testing for it. And I cannot describe how much I disagree with that logic because I think that what's the point in having a big Standard tournament if no one cares about the format? Like, I think that it would be much better if they did shake up Standard before the event, because then everyone would be really excited for it. But Wizards' thinking is there's already people who have like tested their deck for this tournament, so we don't want to change it before that. So that's why it's the 29th and not earlier. Rorix Venture, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you, thank you. Are you coming back on Commander Clash this season? Yes. I don't know if I am supposed to say that or not, but I am coming back. It's a little bit weird. The new season is starting in June, so there's going to be a couple of in-between episodes with the crew from last season, along with some guests playing. So that's going to be a thing for a couple of weeks. But starting in June, yes, I will be back for Commander Clash. 29th. Okay, so here, let's go over this. Rorix Venture, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Good to see you. Finishing up the schedule at work. Hope things go well today. Hope things go well for your day. And the hype train is running. McFly, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. So today we're gonna jank around in Standard. We'll try the mono red Karn deck, maybe some Enchantress. I want to try 5-color dragons. It might be like a early access stream a little bit where we play a few matches with multiple decks rather than one deck. But okay, so here's the news. Wizards just did a stream. I missed the very beginning of the stream, so I'm pieced together a little bit of this, but here's my current understanding. So the stream was about Standard and bannings. Good news, bad news. You'd rather see Calyx? I mean, we can play Calyx too. We'll play multiple things, and we're gonna jump into it soon. But first, all right, let's do reminders. We'll start playing Magic and talk about these bannings. Hey, what's up, Winsme? How are you? Replay YouTube this week, invite all the old streams, including this one to the future normal YouTube. Tomorrow we are against the odds in Standard, although we're trying to do something cool. We're trying to make cool things happen with new Aftermath cards. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes and you'll hook him up. Also, speaking of getting cards, if you all want Aftermath cards, I think the fact that the set flops so hard is actually like a good thing for a lot of people, because my goodness are those cards cheap. Like, yes, there's a couple of mythics that are $5. I guess Nissa got a little price increase and it's like $30 now because it did something in Modern in one deck. But so many of the rares are like literal bulk rares. So I don't know if you want to try some cool new cards for Commander or build a standard, who plays Standard? But if you want to build a Standard deck around them, you can pick them up pretty cheap over at Card Kingdom. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmats, getaway support the stream, and the channel and site donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. So, okay. So here is where we're at as far as the WotC stream. So today, Wizards did a stream to talk about their banning philosophy and to talk more about the future of Standard after the rotation change. So here's the good news. Let's start with the good news. The good news is there's a BNR announcement for Standard on the 29th. So that's 2 weeks from yesterday. So we're 2 weeks away from a change, which that's good. I wish it was sooner, obviously. Like, we now we have this 2-week waiting period where everyone knows stuff is going to get banned, but we don't know what it is, so no one's going to play Standard, or not as many people. So anyway, Standard BNR on the 29th, that will hopefully fix a lot of things. So that is good news. We can see the end in sight for the Rakdos meta. On the other hand, I really want your feedback about what you think of this change, because this is a huge, huge change. So the other thing that was brought up is Wizards' banning philosophy moving forward. And what I understand from this stream, and if anyone who's watching it and I'm wrong about something, please correct me, because like I said, I missed the very beginning and came in like halfway through a sentence where they were talking about this. So here's what I understand their philosophy to be. They are going to, once a year, they're going to have a BNR specifically for Standard, but for all formats, before the fall set releases. So in like July or August, before preview set for Wilds of Eldraine, or whatever the fall set is next year, they're going to do a BNR to fix Standard, essentially, is the goal. So I assume that this is to make up for the lack of rotation. And they also said they're going to focus on banning cards that have been in the format for a while. So I assume this is going to be like a pseudo-rotation BNR announcement where like, these cards have been really good. They've been around for a long time. We're going to ban them. The part that scared me, so I think that's fine, like knowing there's going to be Standard bannings most likely once a year. I think that's fine. I actually kind of like that it's a little bit like pseudo rotation to some extent. Elf, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. The thing that scares me about it though, they're also leaving a 3-week window after a set release. Sort of ish. That was the next thing I wanted to talk about. So that's the main thing. Once a year, BNR in the summer before the fall set. I think that's fine. But they made it sound like that's really the only real BNR of the year. They said there will be a 3-week window after a set releases where they can ban something, but they made it pretty clear that that's like super for emergencies. I think, what were the examples they gave? Like Copycat Combo, Omnath, like it's got to be something really busted. So I don't think we look at that as like a normal BNR, I would say, based on how they're describing it. So that part scares me a little bit. The idea that like, if the meta is pretty bad in December, we just got to wait until August. It also concerns me more about older formats, even more than Standard to some extent. Because older formats, when something breaks, it can really break. Like, there can be a combo that's just like so dominant. Like, look at Hogak or something. Like, Modern would not want to deal with that long of Hogak. So I'm a little concerned about I wanted kind of more bannings, and I feel like this is actually less bannings. Vince, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. But I'm curious what you think. Like, what do you think of that schedule? Is that a good plan? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I feel like Wizards is flailing with this whole Standard thing, where they really, it feels like they're kind of making up as they go along. And I guess they kind of said that to some extent. Like, they want this to be a conversation. They're still like getting feedback on things. So maybe they're kind of making up as they go along. Wizards wants to kill more than just Standard, I see. Yeah, I like having a pseudo rotation BNR before the fall set. Like, I think that's a good thing. I do worry about the rest of the year. Like, I don't know. It seems like that could lead to things getting even more stale. I think that's my overarching concern with all this, is just like, is Magic going to be more stale? And that's my concern. And maybe there's some way that it's not going to be. Maybe the way they design cards will change. Maybe like there's something they can do to keep this from happening. But yeah, I mean, someone brought up the example of like inverter combo in Pioneer. Like, what do you do about inverter combo? Does that mean inverter combo just lives until summer no matter what? And they kind of said like, yeah, there is a bit of a concern about older formats. We do have this emergency window, but that's kind of for emergencies. So I think there is a little bit of concern about how this will all work. And maybe it just ends up being that they use that emergency window more than it sounds. Maybe it won't really be like, okay, we printed Oko, the game is dying, we got to do something. Maybe they'll use it a little more liberally, and then that would probably take care of most of the problems. Hold up, BNR once a year, go back to 2-year rotation. Yeah, BNR once a year and 3-year rotation. Not going back to 2-year rotation. I think the BNR schedule is a good idea, but it kind of gives them the ability to really push cards because they're like, too powerful, we'll ban it in that window. Yeah, that could also be a concern. It'll be interesting to see what goes on with people's confidence. Other stuff that came out of this stream that made me think this wasn't really fully thought through. So they did say specifically, Wilds of Eldraine was not designed for 3-year standard. They didn't go further than that, so I don't know where the cutoff is, where they decided to start designing for 3 years of sets in standard, but we shouldn't expect Wilds of Eldraine to like synergize with older sets or anything in specific, at least. So that was one thing that came up. So it sounds like some of these changes are relatively recent. The emergency window is pretty big when they make a set every 2. Yeah, I mean, the question is, do they use it? Like, what does emergency mean? Like, does it have to literally be the game Hagak? Like, the game is unplayable? Like, what is an emergency? I guess that's the question. Like, well, okay, here's an easy way to look at it. Are we currently in an emergency? I guess that's kind of the question. Like, are we in an emergency right now? I don't know. Like, the meta is not very diverse, but there's nothing that's actively like Hagak broken. So would this count? Would we expect something to be banned right now in that emergency window? If the answer is yes, then I feel kind of relatively comfortable with it. Like, if this is an emergency and that requires bannings, okay, like if we're doing that every few sets, that's kind of fine. Like, I think that'll work out perfectly. But if it's really like, it has to be Oko, it has to be a copycat combo, so once every several years we use the emergency window, then I would be a little bit worried about things getting stale. Yeah, that is my concern, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix there's two competing interests. Like, we want our cards to last longer, but we also don't want standard to be stale. How do you do both of those things? How do you do it? Anyway, we can talk about this as we go along. So much to talk about in Magic, but let's play a little bit of Magic. We got so many decks to get to. So today we are trying to do Aftermath things. We are trying to make Aftermath work in our new, I don't even know if I want to say new because it didn't really change a whole lot, but in our standard format. So first up, we're gonna do some Dragoning. Hey, Stone Rain for the 23rd month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Hey, what's up, Free Jess? Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you, Jesse? Good to see you as well. So, what is this deck? Well, this is a Sarkhan themed dragon deck. Actually, it's supposed to be 2 Rivezes and 3 Sarkhans. So this is 5 color dragon tribal, and our new card, the reason we're playing this deck, is Sarkhan Soul of Flame. So Sarkhan Soul of Flame, 3 mana 2/4. It ramps our dragons, makes them cost 1 less. When a dragon comes into play under our control, we can have Sarkhan become a copy of it, but it keeps its name so it can copy legends. So the dream with this deck is maybe on turn 2 we kill something with a go for the throat. Turn 3 we stick Sarkhan. Turn 4 we can play Zergo and Ojitai, turn Sarkhan into a copy of it, hit our opponent, draw a bunch of cards. So we can play a Rift, get a hasty copy of it, smash our opponent with Sarkhan. We can play an AO. So we can ramp into these dragons really, really quickly, and hopefully Sarkhan will be the card that can actually power through it. Are there enough banned cards to create a new God format where only banned cards are legal? What would that look like? Ooh, it would that's an interesting idea, Kat. I don't know that there is. Maybe if you went through all the bannings in all the formats, there might be. How many cards are on ban list right now? I think it might be 200. I would guess it's less than 200. So you could probably build a deck of all banned cards. Like Modern, there's around 40 some in Modern. And then there's Legacy, there's a pretty long list. I would say around 200 altogether, counting Commander. So I guess you could build a deck, but I don't know if you could really have a format out of banned cards. Yeah, if you could break the 4 of rule, maybe it would work. Moderators should be exempt from advertising. Oh, that's actually good advice. I don't know how to get that to Twitch, but Tomer played a banned deck with the mana base. So I would love to have some flexibility to do that on Magic Online for Commander Clash. That would be really sweet. Speaking of Commander Clash, New season's coming up. Ooh, we have a new donation. Speaking of new things, W. Van Haas, $2 donation. I feel like Wizards needs to do what Yu-Gi-Oh does in regards to ban frequency. Konami will visit the format every major tournament every few months or so and see what needs to be addressed. Banning once a year is not a queue solution to a stale standard. I would agree with that. I think we'll see how much they use the emergency window. I think that's really going to be the determining factor. Like, do they use that often? Then we could be getting changes every few months. Is it really just for the most extreme emergencies? Then once a year is kind of slow. That's a long. Oh my God, are we playing against Krim? Who Void Rends? Who outside of Krim casts Void Rend in Standard? Oh, this is gonna be sketchy. About it, plays a land, passes. The other things that they mentioned during this stream that I think are notable is they do not have any challenger decks on the schedule for this year. And they do not really, one of the questions that was asked was like, what about card prices? How do we make sure that with cards being legal for with cards being legal for 3 years, how do we make sure that like after 2.5 years when a card's out of print, it doesn't end up getting like ridiculously expensive? And they pretty much said that they're thinking about things like that, but they don't really have anything solid yet. So there's no like, it's not like we're getting a bunch of new challenger decks that's going to make the format cheaper. It's not like there's really a plan for this part yet, which I guess is fine. I don't know where it'll turn up, but I was hoping there would be something more solid about that end of things. I was hoping there'd be some actual, ooh, okay, Double Dragon. Hit ya. Please do not farewell us. Zergo and Ojitai. We will take an invasion of Tarkir. Do we pick up a dragon? Well, I mean, I think it's fine in the sense that they didn't say it wasn't happening. They said they're still figuring it out. That's the part that I think gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we get there eventually. Although I would have preferred to have like, oh God. Oh, we have some good hits in our deck too. I would have preferred it to be a solid yes. Like that would have been better if they were just like, oh yes, of course. Like, yes, of course. About it. I'm going to mill us and draw a card. Okay. Invasion of Tarkir. Reveals Zergo and Ojitai. Kill the Jace. Play the land. Oh, our sushi is ruining our day. We could kill this and flip this. Is that better? We can Zergo and Ojitai, but then it just gets blocked. Breach of Multiverse is really strong. Next BNR is the 29th. We do know that. Yeah, I kind of wish they had just... I mean, I would assume... Okay, so I will say this. Fable's getting banned. I think there is... I don't know what else will be banned, if anything. I think the way they kind of talked about shaking things up or whatever, like... I think it's possible it'll be more than just Fable, but I would bet my Moto collection that Fable will be banned on the 29th. Like, so if that plays into your card collecting or like trying to trade things or like your managing of your collection, I would treat it as if it's getting banned on the 29th. I think there is a roughly 100% chance, as close to 100 as you can get without it actually being 100. But there is a very close to 100% chance that that'll be happening. I hope so they also said that we're going to get the regular fall or like summer before the fall set ban list this year as well. So that's also going to be a thing. They also said nothing in Pioneer. They kind of laughed about the idea of anything in Pioneer being banned right now. No, would you like to buy my Fables? I'm not in the market for buying Fables. Maybe selling. I actually don't have any paper Fables. But if I did, Invoke has to go. Do you think that... Let's take it sushi. Do you think that, oh, wait. Do we pick it up? This is all happening with the trigger on the stack? All right, Rift stays. Flip the invasion. Come on, no sweepers, no sweepers. No sweepers, no breaches. Just die to our dragons. Most standard meta decks contain red or black. Any bans that target mid-range in red and black are good. I would agree with that. Have you tried a deck around Tribute to the World Trade? Can't tell if it's better in a token deck or a Nykthos Devotion Storm deck. Ooh, let me see. Opponent depopulates our board. I have not played Tribute to the World Tree yet. I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times, but I haven't actually played it. Well, it's sushi. Opponent lets it go. Well, we will also play a Rivaz. Opponent lets it go. We will pass the turn. Opponent. More removals. Our hand is so bad for this matchup. All the cut downs against the control deck. Opponent. More Jaces. Oh, gets to draw 3. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Oh, dear. Hey, good to see you, Luke. How are you? I mean, what would you want to see in standard? Now that we know that BNR is coming up, what would be on your list of things to change? Opponent has all the cards in all the Jaces. Wandering Emperor. Okay. This is like this is the Crim deck. This really is. Well, okay. I mean, we got to do this or we're gonna die. Sack Plaza. Opponent has another Void Ren because they are the crimmiest of crims. All right, well, Plaza again, kill the Jays. Yeah, I think Harvester would be a good option. How's the cat doing? Oh my goodness, that cat. The cat's doing well. She's doing well, but I didn't realize how annoying cats can be. Awfuls, welcome to the fishbowl. So is this normal if you're a cat person? If you're a cat person, is it normal for your cat to every night at the same time, roughly like 3:30 to 4 in the morning, come in, meow and walk on you until you wake up and do that is that just a thing cats do? Like, I don't get it. Like, you got food, you got water, I give you all the treats, I even get you the wet food that you like, and you still... but she's got the food. Oh, yeah. That's been her new thing, and it drives me slightly insane. I'm getting used to it, but yeah, apparently she is very nocturnal, which is fine. Just you don't gotta wake me up. You don't gotta wake me up. Just go about your life. Go about your life. Do your thing. We can peacefully coexist. Just let me sleep, cat. Let me sleep. The cat wants attention. That might be it too. She does like attention. I mean, yeah, she obviously likes me and likes being here, so that's a win. That's a win. And she's not being mean. It's not like she's scratching and attacking or anything. She's just like, yeah, I want to walk on you and meow at 4 in the morning. What's the problem with maybe in her cat mind, in her cat life, it's just like normal. She's like, I don't know why you got a problem with this. Like, what's the big deal? This is what cats do. I do need some cat toys. So here's now we're talking about cats. How about this cat question? So how about this cat question? How do you get a cat to use something like a scratching post? How do I make my cat scratch on the things that I would like her to scratch on instead of everything? How's Bear on the cat? Bear is actually, he is really adjusted to it, and I would say they're almost friends now. I would say they're almost, but not quite friends now. Man, Jace is doing some work for our opponent. But yeah, they get along pretty well. They don't really play together, although the cat will rub up against his face sometimes and whatnot. She rubs her face on everything. All right, come on. No sweepers. Just let us kill you, control deck. Opponent's drawn so many cards with these Jaces. Actually, I bet Jace is good in Standard right now. With a lot of people milling themselves with Breach the Multiverse and drawing tons of cards with the Troxa, Jace is probably really good. But, like, so if I just... Oh, no, not again. Oh, yeah, we're dead because I didn't get back Jace. All right, yeah. So if I get a Scratching Post, will she know to use that? I guess that's my question. Like, if I get a Scratching Post, will she just naturally use that instead of scratching everything else? Mewtwo! Or do I have to, like, teach her somehow? Mewtwo! Welcome to the Fish Bowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop cheer for you. Thank you. My one cat that is not declawed has some scratching board where she can tear it up, cas a tree with a built-in scratching post. Yeah, see, that's what I need. She's not declawed, and I don't even think you can declaw your cats anymore in New York, which is, I don't know, probably a good thing. I don't know much about cats, but I assume getting your claws taken out is, like, not ideal. So yeah. But she does need someplace better to scratch because she does just kind of scratch on random things like furniture or whatever, and her claws are pretty sharp. They're actually pretty sharp, so she can actually tear stuff up. So I need to get like a good thing for her to dig her claws into. Basically, I think that's the thing. Do I need my fingernails? I mean, actually, come to think of it, what is the point of fingernails? Imagine how much of my life I would say. You know how much of our time we would get back if we never had to cut our fingernails? What if they didn't exist? we would never have to cut them. Over the course of a lifetime, that's probably like an extra year or something we'd have to play Magic with. Our second cat we adopted several months ago was declawed by his previous owner. We're strong advocates against declawing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't even think it's an option to get your cat declawed here, but I'm not interested in that anyway. I would not want to put her through that, even though she does meow at 4 in the morning. Wenku, welcome to the Fish Bowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Well, Dragon 1. It's sushi. Opponent. I've seen people make caps for cats that snugly fit them and stand when they retract. It's interesting. I remember, what about kitten mittens? I think that's the solution. Kitten mittens. Wasn't that one of Charlie's inventions in Always Sunny? I don't think it was for scratching, but phone it. Counter spell number 2. Hooray! Opponent plays the land and passes. Well, we'll play a land. How about it in its sushi? Come on, Krim. Let us resolve it. My God. Where's Rakdos? Bring back Rakdos. My friend had a kitten named Mittens after that episode. All right, let's try this again. Do you have counterspell number 4? Wow, we resolved a Magic the Gathering card. It happened. Opponent memory deluges. Oh God. Are you worried about how? I'm worried about how long it takes you to clip your fingernails. I mean, it's not that it takes that long, but say it takes a minute, but you got to do it every week, and you live to be 80. That's a lot. That's a lot. Well, you can't breach the multiverse. We will. Oh my! Phonic says hello. Phonic has 5 counter spells. We have a single disdainful stroke, and our opponent. Our opponent gives us the emote. Visit! I fostered cats for about 16 years. Whenever they scratch something, we would pick them up, pretend to scratch their own paws against me by literally rubbing their paws against it. Takes maybe a day to learn. Oh, that doesn't sound too hard. I mean, it's got to be similar to bear chewing on things. Opponent has a Void Rend, of course. Yep. And going to pass. Maybe we should have plaza'd. It might have been worth it. Well, go to combat. Thundermaw you. Ping ya. Oh my god, Wandering Emperor. I've been helloing you the whole match. I think they recognize your name, trying to say hi. That's possible. I don't say hello to control players, though. No hellos for control. You can get your sour lemon spray and stuff that you shouldn't scratch. Remember, oh my, Bear, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff he eats. I finally realized, wow, did they just draw Jace? I finally realized with Bear, I just got to give him positive things to chew on, which I guess is probably what I have to do to the cat. So I assume it's basically the same thing. Like with Bear, he would chew through everything he shouldn't chew through, but if I always make sure he has these super disgusting bones to chew on, he'll just chew on those instead and be even happier. So I just got to give the cat like something good to chew on so she doesn't scratch through all the things I don't want her to scratch through, which I guess means getting a scratching post. When are you playing against subscribers again? We gotta just put that on the schedule. How about next week, next Tuesday? Let's do it. A week from today, viewer battle stream. Is there any way we get out of this? The problem is Jace comes back and draws 3. All right, we'll go after the Wandering Emperor. Like, we know our opponent can just channel to get the Jace back, and then our opponent refills their hand. And they also have the Memory Deluge in the graveyard, so this is bad in a whole bunch of ways. I mean, I think Control's a healthy archetype to have around. Although Control is also the absolute bane of trying to do fun things. A good, like, 2 top-tier Control decks going at each other, that is a really interesting match of Magic. But top-tier Control deck against the odds deck, that is one of the least fun matchups. Devil Gear for the 44th month. I love the standard Scales deck. I added Brawlers to a modern green-white Scales deck. Absolute all-star for an uncommon. Yeah, that card's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Opponent going to draw a new hand with Jace. And has a Void Rend for the AO. All right, well, we will go digging. We will take a Rivaz of the Claw. All right, that's not bad. That lets us get a dragon from our graveyard, which is huge. We draw a land. Okay. Is there a way out of this? Is there a way through the control? Look at this graveyard. How do we deal with this? The problem is we're about to get milled out. We really need a counter. Are there counters left in our deck? That's the real question. Disdainful Stroke. There are. Okay, so I think the plan is Visita in Delphi Guru. So many subs today. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. So I think we 0-1 Ojitai. We go to combat. You hit the opponent. You kill the Jace. Let's see if we can hit a counter spell here. Would be sweet. 0-1 Ojitai. Well, okay. As much as we want to take the cool card, I think we have to pick up 0-1 Ojitai, duress our opponent, take the Jace. Okay. We might be getting there. Pass the turd. opponent. It feels really good to beat control, though. Like, when you actually beat... Oh, they top deck Wandering Emperor. Alright, that's not ideal. The opponent going to eat our Rivaz. Sure. Well, I was hoping they'd at least have to depopulate. Opponent, Mishra's Foundry goes to combat, gets in. Well, draw a card. Well, there's the negate. That is good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, let's Zergo no Ojutai. Hit our opponent. Down to 12. I think we got a shot. I think we got a shot. Take the Plaza of Heroes. Pick up Zergo no Ojutai. Play the Plaza of Heroes. Get rid of this Wandering Emperor. Zergo no Ojutai is doing some work. It is doing some work. Snipe this Wandering Emperor. And now we have the negate if our opponent finds a reanimation spell. Cordius in Pixel Puke. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So how was everyone's weekend? How was we missed our Thursday stream. Sorry about that. How was the weekend? Anyone do anything fun? Magic wise or otherwise? Opponent, Memory Deluge to draw some cards. And Catnip on the scratching post. So, speaking of animals, I guess we're just a animal story stream. Corky, first time sub. Thank you so many new subs tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is Eurovision worth watching as an American, or do you got to be a European? Is it like a European? I know what it is, but like, would I appreciate it, or is it kind of like, if you don't get the geopolitical whatever aspects of it, it doesn't make as much sense? Oh, Zergo no Ojutai. About it. Let's it go. Well, we will crew the Bankbuster. Zergo's got Hexproof. Shieldred's Edict. Huh. Well, okay. So I guess that means we have to crew the Bankbuster? This is awkward, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Didn't like it this year. Is it over? I thought it was like a thing that went on for a long time, but is that actually not how it works? Well, we're not dealing any damage this turn. We do get to play a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And a land. Pass the turn again. Our opponent refuses to die. The opponent's going to depopulate. Well, we gotta let that go. We draw land. Spent my week catching up on the Goldfish YouTube videos. Hey, thank you, Delphi Guru. Which were there any that stood out? Which was your favorite? Ooh, Tyrant. Can that steal this win? Well, play Tyrant. Please, please, opponent. Going to Memory Deluge again. Okay, never ending Memory Deluges. They never end. Yeah, the +1/+1 counter deck was sweet. That worked out a lot better than I expected it to. Well, snipe you. And yeah, I guess we just pass. I don't know if we can get through these. Opponents hit so much card draw here. So many memory deluges. Breach the multiverse. Well, I mean, we gotta counter that. Good game to you, I guess, opponent. Wait, did we get there? Did we get there? Did we get there? Did we get there? Did we take down the control deck? Pump the dragon. Pump that dragon. Tyranic Ridges. Did we break it? Oh, I think we broke it, chat. We broke it. Smack you. Yeah, our opponent's just talkative. Wow. That was game 2. T. Barton. I don't know if our opponent said good game because they thought they were going to win or because they thought we had a counter, but T. Barton, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super video. Thank you. Someone told me that they said they'd unban Twin and Modern in today's WotC stream. Did that actually happen? I didn't hear that. I missed like the first 5 minutes of the stream and then the last 5 minutes of the stream. In the in-between 50-ish minutes, I did not hear them say they would unban Twin. But it's possible did anyone else catch that? They should unban Twin. They should when they do their big yearly announcement, which is going to be coming up in the summer. I hope it has modern unbannings on it. Oh, I'm actually like a little, I don't know. This change actually really bothers me. I'm used to Wizards doing weird things, but I have this really big fear that Magic's going to get really stale. Like that's something that scares me. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why these standard changes have me so nervous. Like I'm used to Wizards doing weird things or things that I disagree with or just downright stupid things or things that I don't like. For some reason, this one though, like, I don't know. I don't know why this one feels different. This one feels like, and maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe it's how I play Magic, but for some reason, this one has me really, really worried that Magic is going to get less fun because of this change, or at least standard. I'm very worried is going to get less fun, and I'm trying to remain positive and look at it as a like maybe it'll be a good thing, maybe it'll work out. I don't want to be the doomer or whatever. Like I don't want to do that, but for some reason this one really got to me. What changed specifically? So, I mean, the big change is that is fair. I mean, I probably am being a bit of a doomer. The big change is changing how rotation works in standard. So, skipping rotation this year and having cards for 3 years. And then they also announced some stuff about their new philosophy for how they're going to do bans in the format, which the ban stuff I think is a little bit, there's good and bad news. Did they announce any standard bans? They announced that they will be announcing standard bans on the 29th. So standard bans are coming. I would bet all my Magic cards that Fable's on that ban list. Like I would be literally floored if Fable wasn't on there. I think it's possible there's other stuff on there too, but that one would floor me. I think Fable at a minimum is out of here. Still pretty new Magic. So why is it that Blood Tithe Harvests are so good, and why do people want it banned? I have a couple in a few decks in Arena, and it's isn't one of the best cards in the deck. So I think Jimmy, I think the issue that we're running into a little bit with Standard right now. Actually, we kind of need Rafine's Tower. The issue we're running into a little bit is, well, let's Fable. Yeah, let's Fable. Fable and Mirror Breaker number 2, Rafine's Tower. If we play enough Fables, maybe we can beat the control deck. So the issue is mostly that just red and black decks are really, really heavily played right now. So it's not so much that Fable of the Mirror Breaker itself is like a broken card. The issue is more that the color combination is just kind of over the top good. And wow, I don't know if they have a counter. It doesn't feel like they have a counter. And that just happens to be part of it. Would it be smart to offload my Fables now? That's actually a really interesting question. I think that we would have to investigate it. The main thing I want to look up, and I'm going to look this up right now, how much play does Fable see in Commander? I think the answer is not that much, but it probably should see way more. 3% of decks in Commander. We've seen in the past that cards that get banned in Standard, if they see a lot of Commander play, like the Meat Hook Massacre, for example, they don't really lose that much value. I guess Meat Hook's down a little bit from where it was in Standard. I think Fable will go down a bit, but it sees play in Modern. It's a staple in Pioneer. It sees a bit of Commander play. So honestly, I don't think it's going to be nearly as big of a deal as people might think. So the safe play would still be to sell them, but I think it's just it sees so much play in so many places that I think it'll probably still maintain a lot of value. Well, get in with the Zergo and the Ojitai and smack ya. Ooh, definitely taking duress. We're picking up our Zergo and Ojitai. Oh boy, can we beat the control deck? Can we actually beat the control deck? Come on, no breach, no land breach. Opponent memory deluge. Okay, we're gonna beat him. We're gonna beat him. Hey, so sorry I didn't send you those blood mutes to be signed yet. Been playing Modern, actually tied for second last week. Hey, what are you playing Modern, Paladin? Okay, play the land. Duress you. What do you got going on over there, opponent? What do you got? Change the equation. Oh. Okay, so we're going to Ojitai. Hit ya. Down to 10. Take a Plaza of Heroes. Pick up Zergo and Ojitai. Pass the turn. They're about to breach, though. Are they about to breach? Opponent. Come on. We actually got a shot. To take down the control deck, Wandering Emperor. Opponent. I like Standard being mid-rangey as well. The thing I don't like is it being a one-deck meta. Like, that's my issue. Is the meta's just too skewed towards one deck. Like, having 50% of the meta be a single deck is just not a good place for any format to be. And that is essentially where we're at right now. Zergo and Ojitai has been pretty impressive here. The ability to pick it back up has actually been huge. Opponent. Land. There's the breach. How good is it? So they get a Jace from their deck. They get, I'm sure, some huge dragon from our deck. Ooh, just a Sarkhan? Oh, it's just a Sarkhan. It is just a Sarkhan. Okay. Opponent mills us.
Retreat is surrender. Every last thought to
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so close. Okay. Is there any way we can do this? The problem is, how do we not die to one more Jace? Disdainful Stroke, negate. Oh, what's our best bet? There's got to be a way. What a close game. Chris! This actually ended up being a very interesting game. Chris, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. So if we play Rivaz, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're 1 mana short from playing and copying the Tyrant, which would just be game. So I guess we have to Zergo and see if we can spin into interaction, like a counter or something. All right, Zergo and Ojitai. Hit ya down to 4. Come on, counter. Take a Disdainful Stroke. I think we leave it out there now. Decline. Bank Buster. Go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Opponent. Jace Perfected Mind. Zergo and Ojitai come through with the counter, and we did it! 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 Vote it gets in. No blocks. Down 18. Dragons taking down the Crim deck. Zergo and Ojitai power. Whoo! Hey, see ya, Rucker. Ooh, have fun with the vampires. That was a sweet win. Couldn't you make another hasty copy with reflection? The problem was legendary. Reflections can't copy legendaries. That was actually a really interesting game. Little thing I've not seen mentioned when it comes to 3-year standard rotation is the mana base. We keep all the Innistrad chill lands, all the new Crypten Triumphs, all the fast lands, all the ones from Nam, whatever, get from Eldraine and so on, get a wreck of 3 and 4 color decks. It already does. So I'm glad you brought that up, Prezzo. So short term, yes, mana's gonna be ridiculously good. It's already arguably too good. I think Triomes rotating would have had a pretty big impact on the format. I think that you're right that that's something that has not been talked about enough. Like how much the good mana is allowing, like Invoke Despair, for example. I didn't even think Invoke Despair was a good card when it was printed. Like it's 4 black mana symbols. Like, I didn't even think that was, not only did I not think it was a format breaking card or a format defining card, I didn't even think it was a playable card. I was memeing around on it, had it was one of the worst rares in the set or whatever. But the mana is so good that you can actually cast cards like that. So I agree that the mana is going to be an issue. Although Wizards did say in the stream today that they're expecting to, they're expecting long-term to have it be essentially the same, if that makes sense. So I think what's going to happen is once we get through this transition period, we'll see more sets that don't have a rare land cycle. They made it sound like the total amount of dual lands in Standard should be the same as there usually is. So I'm imagining they just skip some sets and there's no rare land cycle at all. What if that's a ban all the rare lands that are slated to rotate? I'd be surprised. Although I could get behind the banning of Triomes. I think the banning of Triomes, we saw that, like, it's kind of a mini version. I don't know how many of you were playing during Battle for Zendikar. No, was it Battle for Zendikar? During the Jace Friends Prodigy standard. Were any of you playing during that time when we had fetch lands in standard from Khans of Tarkir? We also had fetchable dual lands in standard, and standard devolved into 5-color mid-range, essentially, because the mana was just so good. Yeah, this was almost a decade ago now, but the mana was just so good that if you wanted to add a 4th color or a 5th color, there was almost no cost to it. So it ended up being everyone was playing 4 or 5 colors. That was the, like, Jeskai Black or Abzan splashing red. Like, it was that format. It was a fun format. It definitely, there was upsides to it, but it did end up being play all the good cards. It was very easy to play all the good cards, and I think that Triomes do something similar. Like, I think when mana is really, really good in Standard, it's naturally going to become more of a mid-range, good cardy style format, just because of how the mana works. I don't think that's a bad thing overall. Like, I really enjoyed that old Standard. I think that was a very fun Standard format. But at the same time, are we running this out? Probably not. Rivaz is a little better later. I think it just dies here. We're probably better off just waiting and then, like, killing the Fable token and going from there. Oh, it's ramp. Oh, God. As big as our dragons are, they're not as big as the Natroxa. The Peak of Magic was playing Cryptic Command in a 5-color deck off Reflecting Pool. Fight me. Oh, that was like Cruel Ultimatum era, right? I think there were some good Nassif decks from that era. I would like to see more hate card. I would like to see Blood Moon in Standard. I don't think Wizards will ever do it. I think that's, from Wizards' perspective, I think that's kind of a non-starter, but from my perspective, Blood Moon and Standard sounds like a blast. Yes, please. Oh, this is really bad. So if we play Rivaz, I guess we should just play Rivaz last turn. I was thinking they were like a Rakdos deck, but they're the ramp deck. I think the control deck, we're going to run it out. If they just have the nut draw, then I guess they win. Hey, Seth, do you think we'll get Dinosaur Tribal cards in Ixalan? I miss Dinos. I think that's likely. We actually got a surprising number of Dinos in Aftermath. Ooh, they didn't have it. We had a surprising number of Dinos in Aftermath, so I think it's pretty likely that that we will end up getting even more of them when we go back to Ixalan. I think they're kind of planting those cards for the future, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting dinosaurs to be supported. Wizards has talked a lot about they want to meet expectations, and you know everyone's going to be expecting dinos in Ixalan. Like that's kind of the Ixalan thing. So I would be very surprised if we didn't have them. I don't know what the underground thing means. Like, how do you do underground Ixalan? That part I'm not really sure how much that changes, but hey Seth, do you think that the reprinting cards like Celestial Purge would be good for today's standard matter, or would Wizards consider it to be too disruptive? I think it'd be fine. I think we already see that. We haven't seen literal Celestial Purge, but like Surge of Salvation is a strong hate card. That is a very powerful hate card. So I think that should we actually be killing Rith so we can cast it from our graveyard next turn? That's a crazy idea, but it might be the right idea. But then what if they play a trot? Yeah, I guess we gotta let it go. Imagine Standard with Return of Basics, Blood Moon, Price of Progress, Stone Rain. Would it be fun? It would be fun for longtime players, I think. Would it be fun for new players? Probably not. I think that's kind of the issue. Like, if you have played Magic a long time and you're used to that, or you play older formats and you're used to those cards, then I think it's probably fun, but I don't know if that's fun for like the average Magic Arena player. And I think, what do you think of this theory? How much of these changes and the issues with these changes are just a product of Magic being such a huge game? It's just such a huge game. There's so many different ways to play, and the stuff that you want, or I want, or a Paper Boomer player wants, or a Legacy player wants, is just not the same as what a new Arena player wants. The demands are just so different that there's no way to make everyone happy. Any chance there's a Path of Discovery reprint coming in Ixalan? Explored my favorite mechanic, and Path is so fun. Oh, there were definitely some really fun standard decks that we played with that. I would like to see Path of Discovery return. I don't know what the odds are of an actual reprint, but I do think the mechanic could come back. Yeah, some of that stuff, it makes me wonder, like, I get that balancing Magic is hard. On the Soulless Jailer versus Cut Down thing, I get that balancing Magic is really hard, but some of that stuff's got to be obvious, right? Like, I think we talked about, as soon as we saw Soulless Jailer, like, yes, it's a good hate card, but normally hate cards that are on bodies that died everything aren't very good. So I wonder if Wizards, they had to see that, right? They had to know, like, we're printing this card that's supposed to do a job, but we're printing this other card that means it can't do its job. I mean, I guess that's the challenge. I would not want Wizards' job. I'm sure, I know everyone yells at WotC, and I yell at WotC, and that's kind of just how we do things, but I'm sure if I was in charge of design at Wizards, y'all would be yelling at me. Y'all would be yelling at me too. So I can be a little bit empathetic at least, because I think I would also like find the job to be impossible. Oh god. Speaking of dinosaurs. Well, okay, a tally. I'm already kinda... Where are we at with the tally? Are we at the hating of a tally stage yet? Wall of Chaos! Welcome to the Fish Bowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. opponent. When Atali first came out, it was like probably my favorite card to cast in all of Standard. Like, I really liked it. I'm getting a little sick of it already. I've reached the stage of already being somewhat sick of Atali. It is chaotic. The spin it to win it nature. Well, we will Ayo, and then also cut down a tally, or go for the throw to tally, cut down the goblin, pass the turn, hope nothing horrible happens. Hey, 1 mana Panharmonicon would be fine. That's a fair magic card. That's a good, clean, fair magic card. About it. Oh, so there it is. A Truxa. How many are we drawing this time? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god, 4, but they're all answers to our cards. All right. That's not ideal. I like casting a tally turn. I will say, if you go back to right after early access day, before the set was even really out. I did say opponent's gonna block? Interesting. Okay. Opponent blocks, gains a bunch of life. Atali dies. We will go digging. We will get an Itsushi. We will play... Oh, this actually kind of works out a little bit. Invasion of Tarkir. To get rid of the Atraxa. And then, we know they're going to exile it, though. We know they have exile. Well, all right, whatever. Ayo! I did say, right after early access, we did kind of recognize that Topiary Stomper Invasion of Zendikar was really good, and now it seems like other people have realized that that ramp package is really good. Breach the Multiverse is really good. Oh god. Alright. Well, I think we can safely scoop now. Can I scoop now, chat, or am I gonna get yelled at? They have 7 cards. We have a Haunted Ridge. They're playing okay, even more cards. They're playing Atraxa. Am I safe to scoop without any yells? Alright. Sweet. Wait, what do we draw? Sarkhan. Aw, we want to do Sarkhan things. Breach of the Multiverse is really good. People are playing ramp, and Atraxapile been working on a Breach of the Multiverse Golgari deck. Ooh, that sounds sweet, Halfwing. Wait, Halfwing. I thought you had given up. Did it reel you back in? Did it reel you? Magic has a way. Magic has a way of reeling you back in. Just when you think you're out, it pulls you back in. That's true. If we had our own Atraxas or Atalis. But isn't that the shielded problem? Like, I feel that's like how metagames start lacking diversity. Is like people start playing a card and then everyone else is like, well, to be able to keep up with that card, it's like why we always play Fable and everything. I don't want to play Fable. I try to build decks without Fable, but then I am like, but everyone else is playing Fable, and if we don't, then we fall so far behind, so we kind of just have to play it. As a main commander player, I love Old Atalibor. Old Atali's sweet. New Atali's more powerful, right? But Old Atali, like, in Commander, it's definitely sweet. You can do it every turn, like, spin it to win it. So, chat, speaking of Commander, one of the questions I had on the list for today is, any feedback or thoughts or things you'd like to see or not like to see, good or bad, whatever. Any thoughts on Commander Clash stuff? Because new season's going to be started. I will be making my triumphant quote-unquote return. But But yes, new season's going to be started. I'm curious if there's anything you want to see, you don't want to see, whatever. Any thoughts on Commander Clash at all? I love Croaky's, but can't stand his approach to find the highest win percentage card in deck building. It's so unfun. Ooh, Top Fury Stomper. Ooh, we're going to get to double Zergo here. I don't know if it's enough, because our opponent might just cast an Atroxa in 2 turns, but we're going to do Sarkin things. Commander Clash is my favorite MTG content. I love those janky themes and concepts. Oh, thank you. Do you have any Narset brews? Ah, oh, boy. I tried to build one, and I could not win a game with it. So sort of, but I haven't figured out a way to actually make it successful yet. We got to try the Karn deck. Somebody asked about Karn, so I think we definitely got a Karn. Aftermath Commander. I know there's a Aftermath Commander episode coming up. Decline, and I guess we take go for the throw, and also decline, and that's the power of Sarkin. That's a double Zergo attack on turn 4. If our opponent plays Invasion of Zendikar and flips it, how dead are we? It's obviously not good. Okay, Ossify. Going after our Zergo and Ojitai. Opponent passes. Okay. Well, play the land. Play it Sushi. Sarkin at Sushi. Sarkin going off, hit ya. Down to 8. Presenting lethal next turn with counter backup. Oh, we're going to take it down. Do you think that Jarina Dauntless General would make a good commander? Thinking of making a Commander Humans deck with her. Actually, I think this is fine. We don't even really care about the ramp at this point. So Jarina, I think if you enjoy Jarina, I think you should make a deck around Jarina. There's a lot of, I would say, look into Legendary Humans, because there's a lot of options for Legendary Humans. And you might find something that's even more exciting. Personally, I think that Jarina, I like Jarina a lot in the 99, and I think Jarina's a strong card. Yeah, we'll do some vintage cubing. I think after today's Aftermath stream, we will probably not really play. We will probably not really play Standard much until after the banning is on the 29th, so that'll give us some time to do Vintage Cube. Also, we got to do viewer battle stream, which I think is going to be a week from today. So if you wanna play against me and show off your cool decks, that'll be the time to do it. Well, get in, hit ya. Boom, boom. Invasion of Tarkir. And see, dragons. Sarkin has some power. Dragons have some power. I don't know how good it is overall, but that was a good win. How can I see the deck list overlay? So you can pull up the deck list in chat. I gotta. Oh, did I not open up? Hang on. I will double check that the overlay's on. I might not have turned it on. Can you explain to me higher budget commander? Ooh, actually, that was a question that me and Tomer were actually talking about today randomly. And I want your feedback on it. Hey, Seth, I made an artifact. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Artifact version of the +1/+1 counter deck. Oh, that sounds sweet. How would one sign up for viewer battle streams? So, if you would like to viewer battle, I still have the list from last time. So if you're someone who's on the list from, oh, avert your eyes. Oh, it's getting full. It's getting so full. If you're on the list from last time, you should be there, and you will get a chance to play. You get to jump to the top of the list. Email me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com for the time being. I'll see if there's a way we can set it up to do it through Twitch chat on Thursday's stream. But for now, if you want to get on the list, oh no, my desktop is so cluttered. Oh, there it is. Too cluttered to find Cardboard Live. If you want to get on the list, send me email, and I will get you on the list for the viewer battle stream next Tuesday. All right, we will keep this. This is fine. You remember when Commander Clash has a $20 moto budget? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That was actually the question I had. How much does budget play into your Commander viewing experience? Like, let's say you're building around. We're doing a Commander Clash episode. Someone's building around, let's say Nahiri, one of the new Aftermath commanders. Building around Nahiri. You go to watch the Commander Clash episode. Are you going to enjoy the episode / deck more if it's a $50 build of Nahiri compared to a $500 build of Nahiri? Like, does that matter to you? Does it not matter? Do you like actual budget themed episodes? I'm curious, like, what do you value the most, I guess, in your Commander viewing experience? And does budget play into it at all? Yes, if you let me know your arena info, and also what format you want to play. You can choose any arena format you want. So if you want to play historic or historic brawl or explorer standard, whatever you pick. Pierre Stomper. So if the budget's too high, then it makes it less enjoyable. Okay, that makes sense. We've always done budget episodes where, like, this episode, everyone's building on a whatever budget. So that'll continue to be a thing, I think. I've been working on ideas. I think I have some sweet ideas for next season's Commander Clash that we haven't really got to do yet. There's some new ideas that I'm hyped about. Well, I mean, we're gonna play Sarkhan. We might be about to die, but we're gonna die playing Sarkhans. Restraints include budget can create some interesting creativity. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I like about budget episodes is sometimes you do see card synergies that you wouldn't see otherwise, specifically because of the budget restriction. Opponent going to do some bank busting. Well, we're not dead yet. Well, play Rafine's Tower. I guess we Rafine's Tower. Rivaz of the Claw. Pass the turn. Yeah, we're about due for some more historic brawling. Hey Seth, I think it would be really interesting if CC Stats episode had a win percentage of players to go first, second, third. Do you think Richard could add that? Wait, had the win percentage of the players who got in first. Wait, so like I got in first this percent. Oh, so right now we just have the total number of games, but you'd like to see the percent added? Oh, that's something that's pretty easy. I think we should definitely be able to do that if that's what you're asking. Yeah, because we already do the game, so it'd be super. Oh, wait. Oh, who goes for second, third? Oh, yeah. Let me ask Niatuk. That doesn't seem like that should be too difficult to count, so I think that would work. But I know Niatuk's usually the person that's gathering up the stats, so let me confirm with him just to be sure, but I think that should be possible. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's run out Rith. Run out Rith. Run out Bankbuster. This is the scary turn, though. This is the turn where our opponent could be dropping a 7-drop, and 7 is where the scary cards are. Opponent, do you have a land? Oh, no land. Okay, that's huge. No land. Not dead yet. Not a tallied yet. We get one more turn to breathe before the disaster. Opponent, Ghost Combat passes. We draw 8 Plaza of Heroes. Well, we will, let's see, 1, 2. Draw with Bankbuster. Well, Fable's fine. Go to combat. Hit you with the Riff. Opponent takes it. Down to 15. Fable of the Mia Breaker. Is there a way on Goldfish to have list of all the commons or uncommons of a set for wildcard crafting on Arena? Wait, yes, I think that already exists. So if you go to Goldfish, oh man, they're not dropping a finisher. They're not dropping a finisher. Oh, that is spectacular. Oh, we actually have a shot here. Leyline binding. Uh-huh. What are we going after? Going after the Rith. Okay. Yep. Yep. So if you go to Goldfish, hang on, let's let our opponent finish this turn, and then I will show you. Opponent gonna do a little bit more ramping. I can't believe we've dodged so far. I guess sometimes they just don't draw the finisher. Without our dragon, though, we're not super close to winning. Drawing a dragon would be pretty sweet. Opponent. Thinking. So if you go to Goldfish and you go to cards and if you go to cards, and I guess you can do it through prices. Basically, if you go to any set page, like go to Innistrad Crimson Vow, click on Innistrad Crimson Vow. If you go to the set page, you'll see this huge list of prices. And on the prices page, you can filter by rarity. So if you click on commons, it'll just only show you the uncommons. So if that's what you're looking for, that's already there. If not, I'm sure it's something we could add in the future. Oh wait, I'm confused. Opponent getting in. We will take it. Opponent passes. Well, we do like Disdainful Stroke. Let's pitch Invasion of Tarkir for now. Draw land, unfortunately. That's a little awkward. That's a smidge awkward. 1, 2. Draw with Bankbuster. Maybe we just get stomped. Oh, Xander's Lounge. Okay, well, play the land, and please stop attacking us with 4/4's opponent. Oh, you want decks with all commons and uncommons. Oh, so I know Rooker, not here anymore, but Rooker has done some articles for this site that are about artisan decks, which are kind of exactly what you're looking for. Personally, I haven't done too much artisan stuff. We do play some decks that are only commons and uncommons, but I haven't found too many decks that are only commons and uncommons that are really too competitive. Well, block. Kill a stomper. Take 5. Opponent. Zombie had such a sweet archetype. What do you think of a mono white version of your Karn deck? Ooh, that could be sweet. Do you have a deck list? I think we're gonna play the Karn deck next. Someone specifically asked for the Karn deck, so I think we're going to play that one next match after we do this dragon match. We'll see how it goes. Oh, it was so good getting to Mythic, but then since I played it at Mythic, my record's been a little bit worse. So we'll see. Hey, what's up, Tuga buddy? How are you? I'm doing well. Good to see you. I'll play the land, pass the turn. I do like that we have Disdainful Stroke in the gate. Especially Disdainful Stroke. Invasion of Zendikar. You know what? Do we negate that? I think we actually negate that. Sure. Negate it. Negated. Oh no, not Living Legacy. The creature one. Karn Living Legacy, I think, is unbreakable. Apparently, Cardboard Live doesn't think you have Go for the Throw. Someone mentioned the other day, and I gotta look into this still, but someone mentioned the other day that there was another option that might be better than Cardboard Live. Does anyone remember what that was? I feel like we might need to update from Cardboard Live. I feel like Cardboard Live is like stopped updating itself as much as it should have. Well, get in with a Bank Buster. Opponent. Going to crew the Bank Buster. Hey, what's up, Long Live? Good to have you. Welcome to the stream. Does Untap.gg have an overlay? Oh, I already use Untap to track my matches. So if there's an overlay, maybe that's the way to go. I think we actually copy the Bank Buster just so we can draw a card. Hey, more Bank Busters. Okay, we will continue to draw the broken cards. We're okay with that. Bank Buster. Play the land. Pass the turn. Opponent. We got the Troxa covered with this disdainful stroke. Opponent. The dragons are coming for you. The dragons are coming for you. Ossification. Sure, that's not an Atroxa. We don't care. Yeah, the copy Bank Buster trick is sweet. Oh, also, how many of you play Best of One? How's the Best of One meta right now? Do you prefer Best of One meta to Best of Three meta? Well, Go for the Throat's okay. We would prefer a dragon, though. Where are all of our Zergo and Ojitais? We have so many to still find. Draw a card. Oh, is it still pretty black heavy? I was thinking maybe it would be a lot different. 1, 2, 3. Cycle Xander's Lounge. Dragon. Ooh, Rivaz. Rivaz isn't bad. Well, go attacking. Make a treasure. Hit ya. What colors are you splashing with black? Well, so I guess it's not that much different than the Best of Three meta then. Best of Three is basically the same. Well, play the Rivaz. No dragon still. We just cannot find a dragon. My initial mono white Karn list. Ooh, let me see. Okay, Scoop. Opponent. Murex. And nothing. Okay, dragon. More Go for the Throats. Not quite a dragon. Well, let's draw with Bank Buster. Dragon. Opponent. Mono white Karn, eh? Going to Murex. That looks sweet. The Ambitious Farmhand seems good. Yeah, I mean, I think mono white could work. Mono white, you get better hard removal, which is nice. That's probably the biggest weakness, I would say, of red, is the removal is just kind of medium. It's good against some things, but then it definitely struggles against some things as well, the bigger creatures. Ooh, there it is. There it is. Zergo. That's what we were looking for. Go to combat, swing with the crew, make a treasure. We might be good. We might be good. Opponent goes to 2. We will take an AO and yeah, we're gonna pick it up. Pick up the Zergo. Play the land. Pass the turn. Done. Taking down a Troxa? Taking down a Tally? Come on. Maybe Dragons is good. Maybe an opponent scoops it up. Maybe Dragons is actually good. You probably need to add maybe 1 or 2 Combat Threshers to the deck list. Ooh, Combat Thresher does seem good in this deck, doesn't it? If you can find room. I mean, honestly, I'd probably play 4 Bank Busters, because Bank Busters busted. I would probably play 4 Bank Busters, but otherwise, I think it looks pretty solid. All right, let's try some Karning. We haven't tried Karn yet. Hey, what's up, Frizzin Bit? How are you? Feels like Sander is very good for sweaty players, very bad for anyone who just wants to 50-50 and have fun. I mean, I think it's just really good for Rakdos players. Like, I think that's basically the heart of the matter is, like, there's so many good black cards, and it's hard for the other colors to compete. I wonder how much of it's just Fable. Like, how much changes if Fable's gone? I feel like that goes a long way. Like, even just getting rid of Fable, I think it might take in. So here's what I would say. Invoke Despair? I think Invoke Despair becomes much less problematic if there's no Fable the Mirror Breaker. Just like, if you got to cast it on turn 5, you don't have the treasure fixing your mana. I think that goes a long way. Blood Tithe Harvester is another one that I would kind of like to see go. Here's the thing about Blood Tithe Harvester. Like, there's a ton of good black 2-drops. If you just look at black 2-drop creatures, there's plenty of good ones. It's not like I'd like to see some of the new ones see play. Ayara's Oathsworn is a cool card. We've seen Blade of the Oni around the fringes in the past. We've seen cards like Corrupt Court Official, like Bugler Rats, show up in decks in the past. Like, that's a playable effect. We got Zombie 2-drops. We got Phyrexian 2-drops. We have Jadar is good for sacrifice decks. Misery Shadow, just a strong generic 2-drop. Knight of Dust Shadow has shown up in certain metas. Razor Lash Transmigrant's good in certain matchups. Like, there's plenty of good back 2-drops. We don't really need, the black decks don't need to have access to Blood Tithe Harvester. And that's one of my kids are. So chat, Wizards' reasoning about like more sets will lead to more diversity. Is that even true? So it's something that's been in the back of my mind for a minute, but just looking over this list of cards, like, there's a lot of playable black 2-drops, but every deck plays for Blood Tithe Harvesters because it's the best 2-drop. So it's not like just look at this list. Look at this list of playable cards. I mean, even if we narrowed it down to just rares or whatever, like, you narrow it down more, like, there's a big list of playable cards that are they're good cards. Misery Shadow, Razor Lash, Jadar, Yara, but it's not like all these cards are beating out Blood Tithe Harvester because it's just better. So I think that's a little bit of one of my concerns, I guess I would say, is like, I'm just not sure that more sets necessarily does it. The best cards are still the best cards, like, unless the more sets are printing even more powerful cards, but then it's not really about more sets, it's just about power creeping. Like, you just printed more busted stuff. So I don't know. I guess one thing Wizard said that was interesting, and I don't know if this will work out in practice, but I kind of hope it does, is they want decks to be more thematic in Standard. And I would love to see that happen. I don't know if they can actually execute this the way that they're imagining, but one of the things they said during the stream today that I thought was very interesting and positive was, we know that in other formats, people like thematic decks. We see this the most in Commander. People want flavorful, thematic, synergistic decks, when Standard is often mid-range piles of good stuff versus color versus color versus color. So essentially, like, mid-range, play all the good card piles versus I play all the good red cards and try to be as aggressive as possible. I try to play all the white cards and try to be aggressive as possible. And one thing that Wizards would like is more like, I'm playing merfolk. I'm playing, whatever, more thematic style decks, not even necessarily tribal decks. It could be toxic. Maybe I'm playing toxic. And that's what they would like to see Standard be. And I really like the idea of that. I think Standard would be really, really fun and interesting and enjoyable if it did play out like that. I'm still not 100% sure, like, the pathway to get there. Like, do they actually have a design philosophy or a plan to make Standard that way? I'm not sure that exists. Like, I don't know if that'll actually happen, but it would be really cool if it did, because I think they're right that Standard is often mid-range versus mono red versus mono white versus mono blue or whatever. That is kind of what the format devolves into. And it would be sweet if there were more soldiers or more toxic or more merfolk or more dinosaurs or more even decks built around mechanics. Like, that's something. When was the last time we had a deck built around a mechanic? Like, energy? There's probably something since energy, but if you look at all the mechanics that show up in these sets, like in March of the Machines, look at March of the Machines. We had like backup, for example. There's a ton of backup cards. There's Convoke, for example. we never see, very rarely do we see decks that are built around them. Like, you don't see a backup deck. You might see Voltaren Thrillseeker because it's a good card that happens to have backup, but you very rarely see a backup deck. Or same with Convoke. We haven't seen a Convoke deck emerge that's built around the mechanic. You might see a good Convoke card show up somewhere, just in a mid-range deck or whatever, in an aggro deck as a Zephyr Stinger because it happens to work in your colors, but you don't really see that. So I would love to end up in a place where we saw more of that. Yeah, Adventures is probably, that's a very good example, and that is more recent, isn't it? That might be the last time. The other thing they said in the stream, and this surprised me, the block question came up, and I think that is part of it. Like, in the past with blocks, you might have 3 sets of the mechanic being built on, but someone actually specifically asked them about blocks, and I was expecting a hard no, but they actually said that was something that had been talked about and discussed, and they were considering, like, to paraphrase, I don't remember the exact, but that's what I took away from that, was the way they answered the question. It was like, that's something we've actually talked about and considered. We do realize that is an issue and that has caused some of these problems. And it wasn't a hard no, we're not ever doing that again. It sounded like there was something that it was at least a possibility. It definitely wasn't a hard yes, like, oh, we're going back to blocks, like, don't worry about it. But it sounded like that door was at least a little bit open. The other thing they said is tournaments is something they really want to focus on, especially locally, but not to expect like Grand Prix to return. Sadly, I really miss GPs. I don't know how much of it nostalgic for the old days. Would you go to a Grand Prix if it existed? Maybe, I don't know. Richard, when we talked about this on the podcast, Richard's point was like, dude, we're all getting old. No one wants to go do a GP for a weekend and do the sweaty grind for a GP. Magic players are getting older. Like, it's not going to work when it's competing against Arena. But boy, I have such fond memories of the days. Oh, do you remember? Oh boy, the days of like, here's the SCG Open going on with Legacy and Modern. There's a standard GP going on in the same weekend, and they both have coverage. Like, for me, that was one of the highlights and just the high points of Magic was that era, like a decade ago. Ton of backup cards is questionable, though. There are only 8 non-common cards with the mechanic over 4 colors. That's fair. Although, I mean, commons gotta pull their weight. All right, so this is Mono Red Karn. It has been requested. We're gonna give it a go. This is a deck we actually at Mythic with. We'll see how it does at Mythic. So the idea of this deck, our key aftermath card, is Karn Legacy Reforged. Karn is actually kind of a ridiculous ram spell. It's like a super Power Stone creature. At the beginning of our upkeep, we get Power Stone style mana equal to the number of artifacts we control. So Karn, thanks to treasure tokens and Transpiters and Reckoner Bank Busters, is often adding 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. It is adding a ton of mana. So the goal of the deck is survive the early game, maybe do a little ramping with Transpiter or Celestis to get to Karn, Ermite-Stone, and Weakstone. These get us to the big finishers: Cityscape Leveler, Portal of Phyrexia, Skitter Beam Battalion, and that's essentially the deck. The challenge of the deck is it really, really can struggle against aggro. Like, aggro, look at our curve. There's not a lot of cards down in this section of our curve. There's a lot of cards in this section of our curve. So if we get a slow draw against aggro, and we do have a bunch more cheap removal in the sideboard, but we can just get absolutely run over. So haven't played in a GP since Dragonstorm. Wow, Dragonstorm. That's been a while. Dragonstorm was a cool deck. Here's my Nurse set list. Ooh, let me see Thingam. Let me see. I wonder if I deleted my... Oh, I think I did delete... I think I did delete my my Nurse set list. I built one and I played a couple games. I was like, oh no, this is not working. So I think I ended up deleting it. Let's see. Flame Breather, 3rd Path Iconoclast, Monastery Mentor, Narset. I mean, that's a more or less the plan that I was on. I didn't have Flame Breather. I think Mentor, 3rd Path Iconoclast, Narset. Spells, pretty similar. One thing I didn't realize about Narset that I think is very intriguing, and maybe the prowess part of the card is kind of a trap. The thing that I didn't really consider when I saw this, I was thinking, oh, it's like a Dreadhorde Arcanist or Snapcaster or whatever. But the way Narset's worded, you can cast any non-creature, non-land card. So you can be flashing back Planeswalker cards. You can be flashing back Fable the Mirror Breakers. You can be flashing back artifacts. As long as it's not a creature, you can actually flash it back. So it made me wonder, like, maybe there's a way to use Narset that isn't the like go wide prowess plan. Maybe instead it's about like flashing back specific artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers. The other thing that's like kind of weird that I didn't actually pay attention to either is it hits your opponent's graveyards, which is, I don't know if you build around that, but it is sweet that you can, in a world where people are self-milling and fabling and breaching the multiverse, being able to cast your opponent's stuff from the graveyard is sweet. So yeah, I haven't cracked Narset yet. I haven't figured it out yet, but oh no, not dragons. We were supposed to change decks. I haven't cracked it yet, but hopefully we do. Oh boy. Well, we're gonna lose a. Oops. That's not. Also, we were trying to concede, not close arena. I also wonder if it could be something in for older formats. Yeah, haste seems huge, Draft Chaff. And I kind of like that synergy that you can actually. How did I miss that? That's actually a really sweet plan. You can Narset, give it haste with Bitter Reunion, and then flash it back with. Yeah, I should have warned you about the desktop. It's a little full. All right, sorry, opponent. We loaded the wrong deck. You roped your opponent before it was even loaded, unintentionally. I will add. I was trying to get out of the game because we loaded the wrong deck, but. What other Aftermath cards have y'all made work? I think Calyx has potential. Nissa, I think, has that's not the Nissa deck, although there is a Nissa there. Nissa, I think, has potential, although it's kind of just a ramp deck. Like, it works, but you're kind of just, like, ramping into the big stuff that everyone else is ramping into, so I don't know if it doesn't, like, make a huge new deck. Yeah, Calyx is probably the breakout card. The breakout card from the set so far. Troy Monster, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 52nd month. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. And a reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magic cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Mono Green Devotion Storm. I don't think so. Mono Green Devotion Storm. What is the Storm Spart? That's the Copper Hose Crusher. I played that in draft once. Bomb. It's a bomb. I'm so confused. Well, that definitely looks spicy. I don't really understand Oh, I see. So the hope is to make a bunch of mana and draw a bunch of cards with tribute. That looks fun. That looks super fun. Reckoner Bankbuster, go. Well, let's just play in the land, draw with Bankbuster. Working towards our Karn opponent. It's a ramp deck. Ugh, not a land. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, that does look fun. I do like playing a lot of spells. Oh boy. Land, please. Oh dear. No, this might be deadly. Oh, even with the Bankbuster draws, not hitting the lands. Boon. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if it matters. I think we're dead no matter what we do. Oh, yeah, ramp is tough. This deck has really become popular. I feel like I play against either. Oh, this hurts so much, but we don't really have a choice. Actually, do we have a choice? Whatever. Like, sure, go ahead. I mean, we're in horrible shape no matter what we do. About it. Getting in. Hits us. Flips the thing. That's a lot of mana. Opponent has what? 8? We have 3. Little bit behind. Little bit behind. That's not a land. Is this a land? No. All right, fair enough. Meh. Sometimes you never draw a land. The deck is popular because it's decent against Rakdos and Griggses. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the theory, is you can go over the top of it. Although, like, yeah. Yeah, it is. It is popular for that reason. It's so, boy. The variance of it is starting to get obnoxious, I think. The tally spins, like, ranging from, like, I had a game the other day where it's like, okay, a tally. Like, as long as I don't spin anything too crazy, we can just win on the backswing. And it's like, a tally, hit a Breach the Multiverse and another a tally. And then a tally, that spins into another a tally. And into a Eternal Wanderer to blink it. It's just like, oh my god, like, come on now. Just excited to watch Magic Chat. Most excited about the event revitalization talk. How are you, Jock Quest? Good to see ya. Welcome to the stream. Didn't you play the exact deck? Yeah. Tally was like I thought a tally was going to be an against the odds card. I didn't expect a tally to be something that was played everywhere. When a tally first came out, I'm pretty sure that I called it the most fun card in Standard. I really thought it was fun. But then, I don't know, maybe it's a hipster thing, but when you see it all the time, it becomes less enjoyable. I thought it was going to be like a fringe against the odds thing, and then it's like kind of a cool thing when you see it, you know, once every 20 matches or something. But when you play against it all the time, eventually it's like, oh no, not like this. Hey, congratulations, Magikarp. Yeah, I mean, once other people start doing it, it's no longer cool. That's how things work. That's the hipster way. Ooh, that sounds sweet, Jaquez. What are you blinking a tally with? You know what card made me so sad? All right, we're gonna try this. As long as we hit one land, we get to Fable and Spider, and then we're off and running. One card that I really, no, not again. Maybe we don't hit the one land. I really wanted to make Nahiri's Resolve work. Oh, it seems so cool to blink your entire team each turn and get all the ETB triggers. Okay. But then I realized that blinking your entire team is tough. Have you found a way to make it work in Standard? I found it was really tough to like be in a position where you could blink your team and not take 1,000,000 damage. Opponent, Ren and Realm Breaker.
This is my final fight.
Yeah, I know. Why aren't we drawing lands? I'll have to work on that. It's on my... You know what? This one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. So much mana screwing. We just really can't do anything. How about Nahiri's Resolve and Samet? Ooh, that does sound sweet. Buy the Flibblethip Pat. Wait, Flibblethip Pat. Is there a new pet? $15,000. That's so much money. That's so much money. Is this a new pet? All right, I think it's probably worth it. All right, well, we'll take it. Yes, all right. Default. Oh no. What happened? How do we... So we got the Flibblethip avatar. We got the Flibblethip sleeves. We got the... We're all in. We're committed. We are committed. Where's Flibblethip? Wait. Oh no. Wizards. Wait, didn't we just buy Flibblethip? Why do I not see Flibblethip anywhere? Oh, it's way down under all the locked ones. I see. Okay, there we go. Flibblethip, Flibblethip. There's no Flibblethip emote, I guess. Okay. Well, that's, I guess that's as Flibblethippian as we can get. All right, let's see if we can win with Karn. Yeah, he is. Maybe that's a flavor thing. Maybe they put him way at the bottom because he's lost. Change the sleeves to the new ones. The old ones is like better though. I think they just look a little better. All right, opponent, get Karned. I think there's such a long gap between sets that I think one of the goals is, can we play every Aftermath card? It's a small set. I think we should be able to play every Aftermath card in one format or another. Like, we're playing between streams and YouTube. Like, I think it's possible. Some of them will have to go back to, like, Modern, I think. Like, Deification is a way better Modern card, I would say. Or, like, Pioneer or Explorer, but like way better in older formats than newer formats. Some of them are a little boring, like Dranith Ruins. Like, I know what you're doing with it. You're playing it in a humans deck, but still, I think that's kind of an interesting goal. We play so many decks that I think we could do it. Well, other thing I realized, did you realize Soul Flayer's not on Arena yet? I really want to build a Urborg Scavenger Soul Flayer deck because they kind of care about the same thing, but no Soul Flayer on Arena yet. So maybe we got to do that one in Pioneer. Have I tried Arnie? I have not tried Arnie. Arnie seems... it seems sketchy in our super... Maybe best of one? That's the other thing. Maybe some of the decks are going to be best in best of one. Arnie, like... boy. How do you make Arnie work? It really needs haste, I think. It's just like a tough card to run out there and like have live. So you need to have either have it live or have a bunch of mana, and then you also need a bunch of cards in hand. I want to live the dream. The dream sounds hilarious, but it seems like it's gonna be difficult to actually pull off. Yeah, I think Arnie is kind of designed to be a commander. Honestly, I think most of this set's kind of designed to be commander/brawl cards, but my favorite Jake Sander I ever built played Morph Dragon in Soul Flare. Was it good? No, it was. Was it Esper Dragons? Technically, but it was fun. That does sound sweet. Well, let's. They're gonna counter our Fable, right? Yeah, let's. I mean, I guess we can't play around it. Sure, Fable. About it. Ooh, does not counter the Fable. Do you think that Jeskai Hinata was pretty popular before rotation, could make a comeback if we get a big spell finisher that works with Hinata? And would that not be enough because we're lacking what made Is It Good, mainly expressive iteration? I think that... it could make a comeback. I think that Hinata is still a strong card. So I think that it would have a chance to make a comeback, although it's really going to depend on having something to cast with it. I think that's what's lacking now, is like, what is there to cast with Hinata? I don't think it'll be as good without expressive iteration, but I don't think that like expressive iteration is the only way that you can make it work. Hey Seth, my Is It Belmore deck is struggling to deal with beefy creatures like Atrox and Sheoldred. Any sideboard suggestions? I've been in that same place, Jaguar. So I think the options are stuff like Disdainful Stroke to try to counter them, or whatever counter spell works best. If you got enough creatures, maybe Make Disappear would be better. But I think that's number one is... yeah, let's draw a card. I think that's number one, is counter them if possible. Stonebrain kind of works. It's a little hit or miss. You got to have it early. It costs a lot of mana, but it can be a pretty effective way to stop those things as well. Yeah, let's Warcrafting the Sorin. Take a land. Play the land. Pass the turn, draw with Bankbuster. Oh, I wonder what our opponent stole from us. Probably something pretty good about it. Soulless Jailer can stop reanimation. Doesn't stop them from just ramping into it. Any uncounterable creatures in standard? Thrun. Good old Thrun. I wanted Thrun to be good in standard. We need green to be good in standard. I really wish Shielder just had one less toughness. Fading Hope, just go aggro into the big beaters, smack them to death. The problem with that is mostly a tally. With the Trox, I think that plan's actually pretty reasonable. Like, just let him resolve it, and then kill it, bounce it, and attack him back for lethal. A tally, it's a lot harder, though, because it's usually adding a whole bunch of things to the battlefield. Opponent's passing. Well, all right. Do some bank busting. Draw a card. More bank busting. Oh, Cityscape. Whew, this is going to end up being good, I think. So play a bank buster. Pass the turn. We're just going to keep drawing cards. Keep drawing cards. Keep using the broken cards. Any chance of revisiting the Yordex Saltine Pioneer in the future? Ooh, we do have some good upgrades for it, don't we? Siphon Insight would be a nice upgrade. I was going to ask y'all too, what format are you feeling most right now? So assuming over the next few weeks, as we wait for the BNR, we probably won't be playing a ton of standard on stream. What format are you most excited to see? I know we can do like Cube sometime. I know we're going to do the viewer battle stream next week. Pioneer, Modern, Explorer, Historic. Commander's kind of its own thing. Commander would be kind of more of a Commander Clash thing. I don't know if we'll go to, oh, that's our Warcrafting. We probably won't really do streams of Commander. Explorer, Pioneer, Modern, Standard, Historic. Historic Brawl, yeah, we'll definitely do some Historic Brawl. I do enjoy a bit of Historic Brawl. Gladiator Suite. It's just hard. Hey, what's up, dear Michello? Welcome back. The only thing with Gladiator is it's just tricky to get the matches. That's the main issue. They really need to add a queue. Looney. How are you, Looney? I'm in the minority, but I'm loving Explorer. Just don't have reliable access to Pioneer. Yeah, I mean, it's getting closer. It's getting closer to actually being Pioneer. Kamigawa block Tiny Leaners. Wait, you're eating your city's opponent. Oh, we were going to go easy on you, opponent. We were going to go easy on you, but now it's on. Eating our Cityscape Leveler. All right, sure. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, yeah. Opponent. Passing. Well, okay. Crew the Bankbuster. Go to combat, hit ya. How do you like them apples? Viewer battle could be Gladiator only. Ooh, yeah, we could make Gladiator an option for viewer battle streams, couldn't we? Well, let's play Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Play Mishra's Foundry. Big score. Pitch a mountain, and we're setting up for... Oh, we're setting up for some big things next turn. All right, pass the turn. How many counters does our opponent have? Can we portal them into Oblivion? Opponent plays a land. Sheoldred, okay. Yep. Goes to combat. And... wow, attacks with both. Okay, opponent's getting in there. Sure. So Gladiator is an arena format that is singleton. So it's kind of like Historic Brawl, except there's no commander and a different ban list. So it's arguably, some people would say that it's better Historic Brawl. I think it mostly depends on how you feel about having a commander. That's one of the things that's lacking. But it's plays kind of like Historic Brawl without a commander and with a probably better ban list. Okay. Portal would be great, but Portal also could get countered. That would be awkward. Karn would be sweet, but we don't want to die to Shieldred. And okay, play the land. Cityscape Leveler. Blow up Shieldred. About it. Okay, that works. Go to combat. Hit you with a goblin, make a treasure. Oh, I wish we had a Karn on the battlefield. Karn would be so good here. Get in with a goblin, make a treasure. Opponent takes the 2. And all right, we will pass the turn. Dolph Grub for the 11th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super thank you. Opponent gonna siphon insight away some of our cards. I wish there was a permanent mode to play Gladiator on Arena. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Do you think there's too many modes on Arena? This is something that I hadn't really considered much, but I saw a post from someone on Reddit. Jaquez Shark, first time sub. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Do you think there could be too many? So Gladiator will be an option. It'll be an option. If you would like to play Gladiator for viewer battle, by all means. I don't want to limit it only to that because some people don't even know what the format is. So I want people to have the option to play even if they don't know Gladiator. But certainly if you want a viewer battle, again, email me. Let me know give me your arena info. And if you want to do Gladiator, let me know and we'll do it. Someone brought up on Reddit, and I thought it was kind of an interesting point that like how cluttered the UI is and how it's hard to find anything. Especially if you're a new player, they were trying to figure out like, how do I even play new player events? And it was just like so much. There's so many draft formats, so many things to scroll through. So I wonder if there's a way to fix that. One thing I noticed, did any of you play or even have downloaded, even if you don't play regularly, Hearthstone? One thing I noticed on Hearthstone is it's very segmented. Like you have a lot of different options, but your like home screen is very clean. And if you want to get to like battlegrounds, you need to click on the place that takes you to all the different game modes with battlegrounds, and then you see those options. Or if you want to play Hearthstone, you click on that. So I don't know if there's a way to like clean up the UI so it's not as immediately overwhelming for people. What's more depressing, bad coffee or bad tacos? I don't think there is bad coffee. Is that actually a thing? I don't know if there's any coffee that's truly bad, I would argue. How about, I mean, tacos can go really bad. I used to love Taco Bell. And there was this news story that I almost don't even want to repeat because it's so gross. But apparently there was someone at a Taco Bell that was working in a Taco Bell that didn't like their job very much. So they were like taking dumps in the taco mix, and then they were being sold to the customers. Ever since then, it has been hard for me to actually eat tacos. So I can imagine a very bad taco like that. That I can imagine. How do you get bad coffee though? All coffee, I mean, I think all coffee's good. I guess I just have a very high tolerance, I guess, for coffee. When it comes to coffee, I can eat whatever. Like gas station coffee, day old coffee. It's about the caffeine. It's about the caffeine, not about the goodness. You just need the caffeine. I mean, I will say this was a long time ago, the Taco Bell thing. It was like years ago. So I don't think there's any immediate risk of that, but it definitely makes me, that combined with actually, I worked at McDonald's forever ago. That's one of the jobs I've worked over the years. Um, and just seeing like, maybe it's better now, but, um, I don't know. People don't at fast food don't always treat the food with the amount of respect you would probably want as a customer. And I can't really blame people all the time. Like, I mean, some of it's extreme, but like, I don't know. You pay people like super crappy wages and expect them to like take their job super seriously. So some of the foolishness I think is to be expected, but I don't know. Fast food's probably a little sketchy. Did I get free Big Macs? Yeah, that was one of the upsides. You could eat whatever you wanted. Wait, no, but we missed this. How do you actually have bad coffee? How does coffee go bad? This coffee I'm having is a couple days old with powdered creamer. That's bad. Who? Yeah, okay. Like that is about as bad as coffee can be. But I would say like even then, like it's still coffee. It's not that bad. What do you drink if you don't drink coffee? Tea? If he's still streaming, can I nominate Jim Davis for hosting when you're done? Yeah. Let me know. We're still got a bit to go. Another hour or so. So, but as it gets closer, if Jim's still on, I can try to give Jim a raid. Hopefully he's feeling better. I know he wasn't feeling good a little bit ago. Opponent siphoning things away. I think we're just gonna play Karn. What is our opponent? Every choice is taking forever here. Opponent takes the beats. We can portal, but we really want to see Karn in action. I'm gonna play Karn. I don't even know if it's. I mean, Portal's probably just better, but I really want to see Karn go off. Play Karn. Play Fable the Mirror Breaker. Pass the turd. Opponent said good game. I mean, Karn's an 8-8. It's an 8-8. How do you not get burnt out? So much content, not that I'm complaining. I just really like to play Magic. I'm super lucky. I'm super lucky that I enjoy playing Magic. My coffee preference is dark chocolate mocha, hand ground and slightly less chocolate than most mochas to let more coffee flavor through. It's great. I'm like the least picky coffee person. Like all those words, mocha. I don't even know what mocha means. My coffee normally comes from a coffee maker. Oh, Worms Armageddon. Worms Armageddon that's a sleeper hit. I'm amazed that game hasn't have found a bit of second life in the Twitch era or like the pandemic era. It seems like it's just so perfect for a Commander Clash style stream or video. It's a really fun party game to play with like 4 friends. It seems like it could be really good content. Armageddon's a good one. Some of the other Worms not as good, but Armageddon is like, it's so much fun. That would actually be interesting to do a community stream with Worms Armageddon. Yeah, I don't know if our opponent's like salting or just having internet issues. Hey, what's up, Mr. Zakar? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, some of the later Worms games were not as good, but how likely do you think standard Fable ban is? 99.999999%. Maybe even a few more nines. Like essentially I think it's guaranteed to happen. There's like I 100. Let's go 100%. Like I don't see any world where Fable doesn't get banned at the BNR in 2 weeks. I don't see one. Like, what is the argument? Like, is there even a counter argument at this point? Like, is there even a debate? I think it's guaranteed to go. Unseen Spectre, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, all right. If our opponent's not going to scoop, we're going to cast some Portal to Phyrexia's opponent. Yeah, BNR's on the 29th, so we got 2 more weeks, essentially. Oh, so this is the new Aftermath Karn. New Aftermath Karn. It's been sweet in Standard. I think opponent. Come on, buddy. It's been sweet in Standard. It seems like it's also a really good commander card. Power and toughness equal to the greatest mana value of an artifact you control. So by itself, it's a 5/5, but we can get it up to a 9/9 with Portal. And then beginning your upkeep, you make a Power Stone mana, essentially, for each artifact you control. So we're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 mana. Like, we get to cast Portal to Phyrexia for free. Like, literally for free because we have Karn on the battlefield. Next BNR announcement is 2 weeks from yesterday, the 29th. So that, and it's gonna be Standard. I believe they said it's Standard only. So if it's not in Standard, it's not getting banned. But the 29th, Standard BNR. And then there'll be one later in the summer that will cover everything. Although, I don't really know. They also mentioned specifically wanting, like, so Wilds of Eldraine, the fall set, was not built with this slower rotation in mind. They mentioned specifically wanting to make sure that cards from, like, Wilds of Eldraine would see play or whatever. So it seems like they're looking at it as kind of shake-up bannings to some extent. Like, I think they might actually be kind of aggressive with the BNRs over the summer. Although, I really don't understand their logic of, like, we gotta wait to the 29th because there's a Arena Open. Or not even Arena Open, Arena Championship. We gotta wait till the 29th because there's an Arena Championship. And we don't want to disrupt people's testing or whatever. To me, that's, like, the opposite of what I would want. Is someone who would watch the Arena Championship. I would be so much more excited if I was watching a fresh format with bannings rather than knowing it's going to be Rakdos Fest, first Ramp Fest. Can you use Power Stone mana for activated abilities? Yes. Yes, you can. All right. Well, big score. Discard a land, draw a couple cards. Telio! Welcome to the Visual for the 40th month. I may finally redo an arena with Fable going away and stop flooding the sub messages with my Fable gripes. I don't blame you. You're always welcome to gripe about Fable here, opponent. Always welcome. You're good. Welcome back to the Fishbowl, Telio. Thank you for your subscription. Big scoop for you. Thank you. Are we just carning and hoping for the best? One of the upsides of Karn is it does not get got by go for the throw. I think we do. If we oh, actually, maybe this is better. We could just Might Stone and Weak Stone draw 2. You know what? Let's Karn. We came here to Karn, and Karn we will. Karn, go. Don't invoke us, opponent. Anything but invoke. Or Shieldred's Edict. Yeah, Skitterbeam Battalion, when you ramp into it's actually really good. Yeah, we might need to kill a Shieldred or something, as tempting as drawing cards is. For a minute, I tried to figure out if there was a way we could play Urza. Couldn't figure out a way to actually make Urza work. Fable of the Miabrega. Wait, are we going to untap with this? Are we untapping with Karn? Opponent, don't be looking at that card. Okay. Yes, we will make 3 extra mana. Play the land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, let's do a little skitter beaming. Oh my god! Are you dead? Are you dead? Here they come. Go attacking. Full Surge the Goblin. That is a lot of damage, and that is the Karn power. That is the Karn power. Yeah, this set, we're skittering all over the place. Gideon's deificating all over the place, like the names. Opponent dead. Yeah, that is the power of Karn. That is the power of Karn. I've been playing it in City on Fire, Burn Down the House before Aftermath. Ooh, that sounds sweet. Would you ban any other cards besides Fable and Bankbuster? So, let me preface this by saying my thoughts on... Let me preface this by saying, if we were having a rotation in September, I was pretty fine with just waiting until rotation for changes. I would have been fine and wouldn't have minded some shake-up bannings just to like make things fresh over the summer, but my opinion on bannings is really, really, really heavily influenced by the fact that there's not going to be any rotation this year. In the context of no rotation this year, I would like to see... I think the heavier the better. I would like to see like a pseudo rotation almost. To actually allow, especially with them saying like, Wilds of Eldraine wasn't really designed with this in mind. How big of an impact is it gonna have? Like, we got to keep that in mind. I would like to see them go heavier rather than weaker. Maybe that's a minority opinion, and maybe that's not what everyone would want to see. But if I would be perfectly fine with them being like, all right, BNR announcement, Fable the Mirror Baker, Reckoner Bankbuster, Invoke Despair, Shieldred, Rafine. Rafine, it could be a card that maybe that gets out of hand or rises up and becomes tier 1. I don't think they're going to ban any of the big finishers, Atraxa or Atali yet. It's probably too early, even though maybe there's a concern that ramp gets too good. Although, if... So, standard just saw Thalia, that's also a good one. Darice, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Wedding Announcement or Wandering Emperor if they're worried about white. I think the standard's just like a little out of whack right now. And I don't know exactly what the cause is. Like, is it Fable or is it Shieldred? I almost wonder, like, when I really think through the progression of things, like, if Shieldred wasn't keeping red out of the format and aggro decks from being very good, like, so no Shieldred, maybe red's better. Red's being better, maybe red beats the ramp deck. If red beats the ramp deck, then maybe the ramp deck beats the Shieldredless Rakdos deck, and then we actually have kind of a like rock paper scissors-y format, which is the ideal place to be. Or is Fable the card that's doing that? Is Fable just the absurd filtering, fixing, you can do whatever you want and it's going to be okay? Like, we've seen it. We played Fable in our decks, and the feeling of like, oh, I have a Fable in my opening hand, so everything's fine. It doesn't really matter. Maybe the rest of my hand is 6 lands, but I got a Fable, so we're probably going to be fine. So maybe that's the issue. But I do think the format, like, some of those changes could leave us in a pretty good spot. On the other hand, we're about to get fabled here. Run out the Thran Spider. Hopefully we don't get invoked. I mean, we're getting our ramp on, though, which is good. That is the good news. Opponent. Oh my god, 2 Atalis discarded. Oh, our deck is really scary against Atali because we have some hits. We have some hits. Yeah, that's part of the challenge with the bannings is like, how do you... We've talked about that in Pioneer. Like, how do you ban away a mid-range deck when the problem isn't, oh, you're comboing off, or, oh, we actually just messed up with this one card. And the problem is more like, this pile of things together is stronger than everything else. That makes it so much more difficult. I do not envy Wizards task, but I think Fable is the easy one. He's athletic on the stream. Doesn't the rotation extension turn standard into a pseudo-eternal format like Pioneer? Don't cards get old in that format too, people? I mean, I do not. I'm not a fan of the change. For me, yes. The answer is clearly yes. it's too much of an eternal format. It's, yeah, let's see. I think we had to do it this way. My stone and weak stone. About it. Do not counter this. Oh no. Well, I mean, I guess if they counter, at least they sack their treasure, which is something. Ooh, okay. Well, the power of Fable, kind of like Ragavan, that extra mana is always helpful. So, viewer battle stream next Tuesday. Email me at saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com to get your name on the list. Can I get on the viewer battle stream list, or would you prefer an email? Yeah, I got you, Stone Rain. I got you. I do wonder, something we talked about when they first announced those changes, I do kind of wonder if... the changes could end up pushing more people to Pioneer. Like, if you make Standard more similar to Pioneer, maybe you end up in a world where it's so similar that people just decide, well, I might as well just play Pioneer then, if this is how it's going to be anyway. Well, all right. Yeah, that counter was kind of brutal. Well, kill the goblin. Take a land. Play the land. Pass the turn. We're getting out-fabled. We're getting out-fabled at the moment. Vote it. Flips the Fable the Mirror Breaker. Didn't Wizards try longer rotation in Standard before COVID-19? It failed horribly. Now they just want to do it the same. So they actually tried to do shorter rotation. Yes, is a... Boy, if this flips, I don't know how we get out of this. They tried to do shorter rotation. And that didn't end up working, unfortunately, because I think it actually would have been... I still don't understand exactly why that didn't work, but it didn't work. They've never tried longer rotation, so I guess technically they're trying the opposite thing that they tried before. About it. I mean, I saw someone say that too, like, what does Standard even matter? Like, should we just stop caring about it? But one thing that I think is maybe missed in all this is Wizards is, it seems like, trying to support, in their own way, local game stores. And I think Standard traditionally has been important to local game stores, so maybe that's kind of one of the upsides of this that's been a little bit missed. Well, play a land. Oh, we shouldn't have played the land yet. Kill Reflections. Take a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. I don't even think we're playing any of these. Yeah, let's... We got to get to the portal, right? That's our only reasonable shot here. Yeah, all right. Sure, kill a Fable. I mean, the big problem here is this Invasion Amonkhet's about to flip, and once that happens... Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It is anyone's guess. Yeah, about it. Discards a land. Here comes the Itali. One thing, so people mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon before. How bad is the economy in those games? Because that's something I always hear people talk about with those games is the bannings. In the economy, is the economy better or worse than Magic? Like, because it seems like that's the heart of this change. Like, the underlying issue, according to Wizards, is that Standard's too expensive, really. That's really what they're saying. Like, cards rotate too fast, which makes Standard too expensive. Hey Seth, what's the downside of Standard not rotating versus a non-rotating format? Is it just that other formats have a larger card pool, so they don't get as old as fast? So, I think that the idea is Standard provides something unique. Like Standard is the constantly changing format when something like yeah something like Legacy or Vintage. Yeah, we are not going to do anything the rest of this game. Something like Legacy or Vintage provides that stability. So I think that it's just offering something different. And that's, I think, part of what's scary about this change is it really is kind of diminishing what Standard does best. And what Standard does best is I'm always changing. And I really, so where do we get that experience in Magic now? I think Wizards would argue Alchemy. But no one wants to do Alchemy. I think that's, maybe all of this comes down to Wizards viewing Alchemy very different than everyone else. Like, maybe that's the bottom line of this, is if Alchemy was like a thriving format that everyone loved and wanted to play, well, for constructed formats, yeah, Limited does offer that, but Limited's also kind of like siloed off as its own thing. I feel like so much of this, I wonder if this, I'm just realizing this now, I wonder if this all goes back to Alchemy. Like, was this all an Alchemy plan? Like, Alchemy is going to be this fast-changing format where everything's going to be new and fresh, and that's what it's going to be about, with digital first. And they made this decision like a year ago based on the thought or expectation that Alchemy was going to be this, like, beloved format that was going to, change everything and be super popular. Maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe that's it. Because if Alchemy was successful and beloved, this might have been a positive, right? Because that's the thing that I'm worried about is, like, where do you get that constantly changing experience now? If you're someone who wants your Magic to be constantly changing, where do you get that? And the answer is pretty much just Alchemy, right? That's pretty much it. Well, this is the most expensive hand of all time. The Stone Brain is nice, but if we don't draw things to go with it, this is going to be sad. Blood Tithe Harvester. Well, we hit a land at least. That's something. Well, 1, 2, Stone Brain. I guess we name it Troxa. It's such a tough choice because there's also a tally. Ugh. So 2 Atraxas, 2 Italies. Well, okay. Getting rid of the Atraxas is good. Our opponent's hand is also very good. All right, well, 2 Atraxas, 2 Italies. Atraxas down. 1 threat dealt with. Pass the turn. Yeah, I think it's got to be non-limited for a constructed format. And I'm not sure what the answer is. I don't know where you get that constantly changing play experience in a constructed format now, unless you're going to switch to Alchemy. If you switch to Alchemy, you can probably get it, but I'm not sure many people want to do that. If Alchemy had been better. If Alchemy had been better, I wonder how much different all this would look. Standard is not a format Wizards wants for Arena. It is Alchemy. Yeah, it seems pretty clear based on all this stuff that that's what Wizards would prefer. I think that's what they're saying is, like, if you are someone like you who values, like, formats being fresh and changing, please play Alchemy. We're begging you. We're begging you. Play Alchemy. Do it. Just do it. The thing is, everyone I talk to, nobody wants that play pattern. They like to keep their decks at least in paper. But I mean, then don't you just play Pioneer? Like, I kind of wonder if then you just play Pioneer. If you don't want things to change, then I would assume Pioneer would be the go-to, or Modern or whatever. Does a year change anything? That's a thing. It's not like rotation's going away. You're getting an extra year. So your cards are still going to lose their value. But you still got to deal with rotation. You just deal with it slightly less frequently. Yeah. I mean, maybe Standard's just not built for 2023. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe in 2023 people... It's so funny, though, because you would think from, like, a digital perspective, people want fast changes, like, to keep people interested, short attention spans, all that stuff. So you would think from digital, you would want it to be that way, but I guess maybe in paper, it's just the opposite. I wonder how much of it just has to do with people being casual, too. Like, I think maybe just, like, as a group, as a community... For many reasons, we've become more casual than we were a decade ago or 2 decades ago. Like, I think that just like the very meaning of Magic, I think, has changed compared to. Really? Nahiri's warcrafting to get a Blood Tithe Harvester? Okay. Sure. Yeah. So opponent gets a Blood Tithe Harvester, gets a blood. Opponent passes. Well, we'll start making Murex tokens. Ooh. Yeah, missing lands is brutal in this deck. About it. I'm going to say everyone's wrong about alchemy on a gameplay level. It's awful because it's additional cost rather than automatic process to get new cards like people play. People would like it better. I mean, I think there's some gameplay issues too. For being like billed as a fast changing format, they print some pretty busted cards and then do not change them very frequently. Like Crucius or whatever, like that 3-drop that just kind of like is dominating the format. I don't really understand why. I don't know. And I think some of this is Wizards just trying to figure it out. Remember, Wizards is like an old school paper company. Their digital prowess has been memed on for a long time. Like remember years ago we were writing like the complete history of Magic Online or whatever. Like their ability to make digital work has long been a topic of conversation, and maybe that's part of it too, that they're just not really a company that's great at doing digital things. That's just not who they are. Lord Kenobi, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup, Jeffrey. Thank you. Well, let's kill this. Did they get anything good in their graveyard? Not really. I feel like we're in a pretty scary spot though. So we kill this Blood Tithe Harvester. They have the Cruelty of Gix. We've been careful not to discard any creatures, so maybe we're okay. But they can make us discard a creature and then reanimate like a Cityscape leveler. Alright, duress us to take our warcrafting. Yup. Magic Online technically sucks. It's just propped up by third-party services. Hey now, I like Magic Online. I think Magic Online is underrated in 2023. I don't think it's fair to say it sucks. It is. I mean, it's definitely older, but it is a place that you can really play every format, which is kind of impressive. I don't know. I've always liked Magic Online personally. About it, Blood Tithe Harvester. Really, you don't like it either, Cornelius? Do you have a preferred version of tokens with multiple arts, or do you not really care? I've never been someone who's kind of went out of my way to select token versions for the most part. Opponent. Do any new people get into Moto? I assume that most new people are not starting with Moto. I assume they're starting with Arena at this point. Well, get in, hit ya. The problem is we know they have this disdainful stroke. So we know if we ever go to Skitter Beam, they're just gonna kill it. I guess we're slowly developing our mana. there's still nothing great to Cruelty of Gix. If they ever get Breach the Multiverse, that's going to be an issue. It just took us so long to get our mana going. Yeah, we need a little bit more mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're up to 6 mana. So we still can't level her. We could play this as 2/2s. If our opponent taps down, we might. Opponent. Oh boy. Well, there goes everything. Not ideal. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. Yeah, you're kind of seeing the bad side of the deck, where the good side is it's really powerful. The bad side is if you don't hit the mana, it doesn't do much of anything. Well, okay, we're going to play a Karn, get the Disdainful Stroke out of our opponent's hand. Opponent strokes the Karn. Well, hit you for 1. Maybe we poison him out. Up to 3. They are officially corrupted. I start an arena. Seems like I won't evolve from here to there. Yeah, I wonder how many people do. I know people who go from Arena to Magic Online. I think the main reason that people go from Arena to Magic Online is just the desire to play other formats. Like, you play a bunch of Magic, play a bunch of Standard or whatever, and then eventually you're like, I don't know, I'm not enjoying Standard right now for whatever reason. What if I tried this Modern format or whatever? And that leads to people trying Magic Online in some cases, I think. Yeah, Cube Drafts is another big one. Legacy, Vintage, Cube Drafts, Modern, Pioneer. Those are I would say the biggest reasons. Well, all right, Skitter Beam Battalion. Hit ya. Wow! Oh, it worked! How did we win that? We were mana screwed all game. We were mana screwed and just kind of clunking around. And Skitter, is Skitter Beam Battalion like secretly a really good Standard card and no one realizes it? I felt like we were losing that game the entire time, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we skitter all over him. We have a new donation from Krusty Beck. $3 donation. Did you listen to the new King Gizzard song, Gila Monster, released today? Thanks for brightening all of our days every time you stream. I have not. I will have to look that up. I can't do it on stream because then we'll get a copyright claim on YouTube when they're super. Oh my god, you remember one of those bounties we did? It was so funny. We did one of those bounties. Twitch has those bounties for like, oh, watch this movie trailer or whatever, and you get some ad money. So we did one of those bounties, and then I uploaded the stream replay to YouTube, and they copyright claimed the stream replay because of the bounty, watching the movie trailer. But all that to say, I will definitely check it out because I really like King Gizzard, but we probably can't listen to it on the stream, unfortunately. That's one thing that makes me sad, is I really wish we could do more with music on stream. Those are like my two passions. I love Magic and I love music, and because of copyright issues, it is really, really difficult to combine those together as much as I'd like. Have I ever played Elder Scrolls? I haven't. Should I? Should I play Elder Scrolls? Opponent, Schwamp. Well, Mishra's Foundry and a Thran Spider. Go. I mean, we're 2-0 with Karn at the moment, aren't we? Actually, you can change your audio channels with an OBS to make it where you uploads and VODs won't have music, but people live in the stream will have the music. You should look into it. Oh, really? I didn't realize that was a possibility. Because I think you can get away with a lot on Twitch streams, and the VODs don't really matter because we upload them to YouTube anyway. So even if I had to delete the VODs, I think it would be worth it and it would be fine. I'm gonna have to look into that. I didn't realize that was an option, Megacarp. I will definitely explore that because I would love, even if we don't listen to music all the time or whatever, I'd love to have the option. I'd love to have the option where someone will like, hey, have you heard this song? And be like, wow, let's check it out while we're playing Magic. So Aww. Opponent kills our Karn, Corpse of Praises. Well, if we're gonna play it that way, opponent, we're gonna have to skitter all over you. 1, 2, 3. Actually, maybe we don't. Yeah, maybe we just 1, 2. Should we just Fable? Maybe we Fable. Let's go to combat. Attack ya. Opponent. Are we blocking? Yes. Alright, so kill the Corpse Appraiser. No sacrifice. Fable of the Mia Breaker. And play Mirrex. It passed the turn. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that for the future. Thanks for suggesting it. Your VODs on Twitch can still get copyright struck, but this will avoid the issue anyway. Yeah, and I don't really care about the VODs on Twitch because they're on YouTube. So as long as the YouTube stuff is fine, it should be fine. Even if I had to just like not even save the VODs on Twitch and just tell people to go to the YouTube, it'd be fine. Is there a mechanic you'd like to see come back in the new Eldraine? Ooh, that's a really good question. What are the... All right, let's look back on the Eldraine mechanics. Do a little mini tier list on if they should come back or not. Okay, how do we do this turn though? So well, we want to kill. We definitely want to kill this. Kill the goblin. No treasures for you. Opponent. All right. Also, no treasures for us apparently. Well, I guess that's fair. We will take a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Play the land, play the Fable. Hit you with the spider. Opponent down to 14. All right, Throne of Eldraine mechanics. Leave our goblins alone. All right, so we have adventures. I would like adventures to come back. I think it's a really good mechanic, and I fully expect it to come back. So I think adventures I think is very likely. I did see the Rowan and Will art. Adamant. Does anyone like Adamant? I think Adamant's one of the worst. I know what Wizards was trying to do with Adamant. I even kind of like what Wizards was trying to do with Adamant. I just think it's a really horrible mechanic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? Let's just keep it. Keep everything. Mightstone and Weakstone to draw a couple cards. Ooh, Portal. Play the land. Fire up the Foundry. Hit ya. And next turn we might be able to do some skittering. Let's see what our opponent does. Opponent flips the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Adamant's such a flop. I like what they were trying to do, which is give you a reason to play monocolor decks. That's something we've just... Opponent, chill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we're going to actually crew the Foundry to keep them from drawing so many cards. Sack, opponent draws. Opponent passes. Ooh, Leveler. Well, maybe that's a better option here. Yeah, let's level the Reflections. Put an end to those shenanigans. Get an 8/8. Play the land. Set up for skittering next turn. Double Invoke. Is Double Invoke not enough? Opponent. Can you actually kill it? Artifact. Go for the throw. Not going to do it. Runs out a Corpse Appraiser. Okay, trying to find an answer. Little do they know, there's a skitter in ahead. There is a skitter in ahead. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to make Adamant better. Like, to fulfill the goal, but not have it be such a horrible mechanic. Maybe there's a way. Well, I mean, Let's get Skitter in. Yeah, Skitter Beam Battalion. How do we feel about that? Rakdos. How do you like some 4/4s, opponent? Kill it. And dead. I mean, the deck kind of works. The Karn deck kind of works. It really actually does. And we're taking down like top 1,000 Mythic players at the moment. So Animate, okay, back to this. Adventures, I would like it to come back. I think it is going to come back. Animate, I like the idea of supporting monocolor, but blah, is that a horrible mechanic. So I don't really want Animate to come back, but something that supports monocolor would be good. Food, is food evergreen now? It feels there's food all the time. I don't even know. Like, I don't want food to be a set mechanic necessarily, because I feel like food it just exists everywhere at all times. So I don't know if there's even any point to making it a mechanic, because we just always have it. Is that it? Those were all the mechanics in Eldraine? Really? Huh. Okay. I don't know why I thought there was more mechanics than that, but well, I guess adventures. Decaduius. Decaduius. I can never say that word. I am incredibly bad at saying that word. Decaduius. We need Circle of Loyalty back though. If they reprint one card, it better be Circle of Loyalty. Yeah, the ceiling of the deck is super high. The ceiling of the deck is just absolutely wreck you. The floor, I mean, so far we've overcome the floor. The floor is also relatively low. Like, the floor is we get mana screwed and draw a bunch of 8-drops and don't do anything. So there is a downside, but I mean, as much as we've talked about standard and wanting changes, you know what would change standard is printing Eldraine level stuff. I think it was Leon Trazi who was talking about this and was like, well, I mean, if we're going to have longer standard, then we need to like go back and do the fire design thing where we're just printing the super push cards. And I didn't really like the fire design era either though, so I don't know if I would actually want to do that. But if we're worried about Rakdos being too good, you know what would make Rakdos less good would be Oko. Oko being a card, or like other similarly like super push cards. Even Embercleave. Like, you know how you get a mono red creature through a Shieldred? That is throw an Embercleave on it. Wait, is our opponent just not drawing red mana? They were Grixis last game, right? Liliana. Opponent's gonna tick it up. We will discard a Volt Surge. Well, play a land. Play a Thran Spider. Spider's kind of a sleeper too. Spider's actually pretty good card. Opponent, there's the red mana. And all right, kills our spider.
Off you go.
And passes. Well, all right, Mishra's Foundry and Thran Spider. No, what could help a mono red deck or a mono red card? A mono red deck actually be able to attack through Shieldred. something on the level of Embercleave would probably improve that matchup, I think. All right, opponent brings in an Abrade. Sure. Well, what do we discard to this Lily? Opponent, land. Are we taking up? No. All right, opponent passes. Well, okay. Nahiri's Warcrafting Lily. Opponent has make disappear. We will pay. And, ooh, we would have liked all those. All right, decline. Play the land past the turn. What's that last card? Come on, let's get this win. About it. Oh god. All right, that's a pretty brutal last card. Well, 29th, 2 weeks away. Only 2 weeks away. Bonnet Fable or Reckoner Bankbuster. Well, Roadside Reliquary. Fable of the Mia Breaker. And pass the turn. No invokes. No invokes. Do you think Blood Moon would make people quit Standard? I don't know if the arena crowd could handle Blood Moon in Standard. I know there's some of us like me that would enjoy it, but yeah, we are gonna sack the Reliquary. You know, big score's not the worst. Well, discard. Huh. All right, play a Karn. And pass the turn. About it. I feel like Magic is, I don't know, it's lacking Blood Moons. Kids these days, they don't know what it's like. Oh, come on now. Come on now with all the braids. One of the upsides of Karn is normally that it's hard to kill, but our opponent is a very Brady player, apparently. About it. No attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, okay. Big score. Pitch Scatter Beam. Draw a couple cards. Merrick's. Pass the turn. Opponent draws with Bankbuster. We're like one big draw away. Our opponents just hit the removal for all of our Karns, go for the throat. Yep, opponent untaps. They do Fable things. Ramp decks win through Blood Moon. I don't think it would do anything but balance out mid-range and make rock, paper, scissors a thing. I can definitely see arguments for it being a healthy card. I don't know if people would buy those arguments, but you can make arguments that, like, you know what would stop Invoke Despair in all these mid-range piles, like, and help aggro decks like Mono Red? Having your mana be punishable. Or maybe that's a step too far, and we need to, like, maybe it's just Wasteland. Maybe we just need Wasteland. You know what? Maybe that's a step too far. Maybe just a Stone Rain, a card that was printed almost every set for 20 years. Maybe part of why everyone's just playing a pile of the best. Maybe a big part of the reason why everyone's just playing a pile of the most powerful cards is there's not punishment for that play pattern. Like there's no punishment because we're not allowed to punish any of those things anymore. Well, okay. Portal to Phyrexia. We very well could still be dead, and they get to, yeah, this Bankbuster was huge for our opponent. Oh, so close. So close. Boda keeps a Corpse Appraiser. We pass the turn. So many invokes. About it. Untaps. I mean, we got the portal down, but I'm not convinced we survive this turn. Opponent cycles Xander's Lounge. 5 life is not a ton. If we do survive this turn, we should be able to stabilize, but I don't know if we can survive it. Sacks the play, opponent's desperate. Sacks the blood. Plays a land. Cut down. Oh. Okay, our opponent was just slow rolling, I see. Maybe if Cleansing Wildfire was a thing again, or a more push version. Yeah, I mean, Cleansing Wildfire, like, doesn't really destroy a land, though. I guess Cleansing Wildfire is okay against... I guess it's okay against specific things. Like, it would probably be okay against some of the most greedy decks. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't understand why Stone Rain is considered out of bounds, though. That's the one. That's the one that I just can't. I can't wrap my head around why that's considered out of bounds. Honestly, this new green Cameo Super Nuts pumps out 10 mana of any color on turn 4. Yeah, I mean, when it goes on check and lives, it can actually do some pretty strong things. I don't know how often it actually lives that long, but if you actually get it to live, it is good. Well, make a spider, make a power stone. Opponent, land. Fable of the Mia Breaker. That might be too greedy. All right, let's just Volt Surge. Volt Surge. Kill the goblin. Play the land. Hit you for 2. We need a Reckoner, Bankbuster, or Fable. That's the missing piece. Does specifically destroying a city mean destroying a land? Like, the ground is still there. Yeah, those are probably the most egregious. Or the cards like Cityscape Leveler, those not being able to hit a land is just... That's just kind of a joke. That just shows how conservative Wizards is with that. To the point where they'll, like, actively hurt the flavor of their cards because, I don't know, because a new player might get upset that an 8-drop blew up one of their lands. What standard needs to deal with Rakdos' Royal Decree? Oh, I actually gotta look that up. What is Royal Decree? Royal Decree. Opponent plays a land. Passes. Well, we play a land. Play a Karn. Oh, come on now, opponent. Disdainful stroke. Well, we'll pass the turn. Yeah, this Corpse Appraiser card advantage engine's an issue. Oh boy, and an Obliterating Bolt. Opponent goes attacking. Down to 15. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's not enough. Not enough to do anything. Royal Decree. Beginning, so 4 mana, cumulative upkeep 1. At the beginning of your upkeep. Yeah, this one's over. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an age counter on this permanent, blah, 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 cumulative upkeep. Whenever a swamp, mountain, black permanent, or red permanent becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to that permanent's controller. Ooh. That would be really good against... Actually, would it be really good? It just gets Invoked Despaired. I mean, I guess it would probably be good, although... I imagine you tap out for it and your opponent just taps their lands and, like... I guess at least they have to take some, wow, brutal. At least they have to take some damage. At least they have to take some damage to cast their Invoke Despair. I wonder, there's so many little things that are interesting with Standard. Like, I wonder if they hadn't decided to give Black Enchantment hate and Invoke Despair didn't randomly blow up an enchantment for a reason that would be inconceivable for the first 27 years of Magic. Do you think that would, like, how much would that change things? Like, what if you could play enchantments without them getting invoked away? Like, there's so many little things that go into what makes Standard and Magic that it's pretty interesting to think about. Yeah, our opponent got too many Kiki activations. Well, there's good news. The good news, chat, we're going to lose this game, unfortunately. But the good news is 29th. The 29th, we will no longer lose to Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It will be gone forever and ever. Amen. That is the Standard BNR announcement that is likely to at least send Fable into the Netherworld. Well, hit you to 6. I mean, even considering that, we made this close. Like, Opponent's down to 6. They played the deck, multiple invokes, all the fables. Is it a given? I mean, so there being a BNR announcement on the 29th is confirmed. That much is confirmed. Whether or not Fable will be on the ban announcement, that's not confirmed, although I cannot conceive of a world where that's not the card that gets banned. I think it's possible more cards get banned, but I can't imagine. My mind cannot conceive of a BNR announcement that does not contain Fable. Like, I don't see how you could get to that point. Like, I don't really understand how you could even like write a BNR announcement without having Fable on there, but having other cards on there. What if they only ban Stomper? I mean, the other thing that they said to keep in mind as we're thinking about these bannings is they did say part of their new ban philosophy to go along with this once per year part of the new ban philosophy to go along with their once per year banning thing is they want to ban cards that are older. Their focus is going to be almost like rotation. Like, if they're choosing what to ban, they're going to choose cards that have been around longer rather than newer cards. So I would assume if you listen to that messaging, I think that means a few things. I think it means Italian Atraxa, non-starters. Like, they're too new. There's no way, if that's a philosophy, I wouldn't even think about it. Maybe a year from now, if those cards are still everywhere and people are sick of them, maybe that's a conversation next summer when we get to this point. But I would say there's a too new. I also think that means Shieldred is actually maybe less on the chopping block. So I think Shieldred would be the one that I would be like the most on the fence. With that philosophy, it's not like super new, it's almost a year old now, but it's also not one of the cards that would have rotated this year. I think that also means that cards like Fable, cards like, I mean, basically Kamigawa. I think it means that all the really good Kamigawa cards, those are the ones. And then, I mean, there's a few Innistrad cards like Blood Tithe Harvester that are also on there. But those are the ones that really fit the criteria. Like, if that's their philosophy, ban the oldest cards. I think that those would be the cards we'd be looking at. The Reckoner Bankbusters, Wedding Announcements, Fable the Mirror Breakers, Invoke Despairs, Blood Tithe Harvesters. Those are the super old cards from that era, essentially. Emperor, Invoke, yeah, any of that stuff. So, and like, I'm not expecting all that stuff to get banned, but those would be the group of cards I think we'd be working from. So don't even think about Atraxa and Natali, not happening. Shieldred, I think it's less likely based on what they said today. And then Fable, I think, is a given. And then on top of Fable, if there's something else to go along with it, it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. I guess I'm kind of hoping for like rotation bannings where they actually just go deep and actually really shake up and get rid of a lot of the cards that would have rotated anyway. I would personally enjoy the shakeup of the format, but it's also possible that they go conservative. And I guess in favor of the conservative vote would be they're only doing like this real BNR thing once a year, and then everything else is going to be like this emergency thing. So it sounds like they're trying not to ban many cards. I was actually kind of hoping their philosophy would be like, I know like we're doing this longer rotation, but we're gonna be banning things super aggressively, so look out. Everyone buckle up, the BNRs are coming. But that's not the impression that I got from watching the stream. It was more like once a year, we want to give you a ton of notice, like we don't want to ban things. Maybe even some years, if Standard's in a good place, maybe we won't ban anything during the once a year ban window. So I don't think Wizards, it didn't sound to me like they're looking at it as like, we're going to ban 20 cards and just like really shake up the format. So ban the Triumphs, Innistrad Duels, Fables, Channellands, Bankbusters, Wedding Announcements, Wandering Emperor. That's a pretty long list. If you could ban 3 cards, what would your picks be? All right, last pick. So if I had the power to ban 3 cards in Standard, I actually did a YouTube short on this, but number 1, by far Fable the Mirror Breaker. No, I think if anything is a broken card in this Standard, and it's arguable that nothing is truly broken, but if anything's the broken card, I think it's Fable. For 3 mana, it's too much value. 2 bodies. You get the looting effect, which supports the Taliatroxa graveyard style plans. It's really, it's impossible to actually effectively deal with in standard. The closest thing you have to dealing with it in standard is Unleash the Inferno. This is as close as you get to actually dealing with it. And even if you unleash the Inferno, the best possible way to deal with it, you're still really like behind. You spent 4 mana, your opponent only spent 3 mana, plus you got to be in 3 colors to make that work. So it's really just it's too hard to deal with. So Fable the Mirrorbreaker #1, I would actually put Blood Tithe Harvester #2. I know that Blood Tithe Harvester is not a bannable card, but I think that it is the best way to like outside of Fable to slow down Rakdos. So I would actually lean toward Blood Tithe Harvester. We were talking about earlier how there's a ton of, yeah, I guess discounting counters. That is true. Like a counter is a good answer to anything, essentially. But if you can't counter it, I would actually put Blood Tithe Harvester #2 on my list. We were talking about how Black has a lot of 2-drop options that I think are very playable. So there's plenty of replacement options. Blood Tithe Harvester, it's kind of like Fable in the sense that it just does so much for 2 mana. Like, it's a removal spell, it's an above the curve creature, it fills your graveyard so you can reanimate a Troxa or a Tally. If you're desperate, the blood tokens just let you dig for removal spell, dig for whatever you need. So I'd really like to see that go. I think that losing these 2 cards, then I actually become less scared of the Reanimator package. I become less worried about Invoke Despair, honestly. Like, if you're 5 mana Invoke Despairing and actually having to spend all the mana because you don't have treasures to make it work, I think Invoke becomes a little bit fairer in there. You're forgetting the Harvester saw lots of play before Fable was printed. I mean, this is also a Pioneer staple, a card that's seen a bit of modern play. It's definitely proven like 3 2-for-2s above the curve, and it just has so many abilities, all of which are good. The third one is where it gets tough. The third one is where it gets really tough. That's where I don't know. I can see arguments for Invoke Despair. I can see arguments for Rafine. I think I've seen some people say they're afraid that if you ban Rakdos too hard, then it'll just be Esper Legends and that'll take over the format. So I could see like we've seen this in the past where Wizards is like, okay, we're banning these things from the broken deck, but we're also going to, I think, Ferocidon, Rampaging Ferocidon was like the classic example of this, where Wizards is like, okay, we're going to ban energy, but since we're banning energy pretty hard, we're really afraid that red is going to be the only game in town. So we're also going to ban Rampaging Ferocidon, and everyone kind of scratched their heads and was like, that's not really a bannable card. So I could see that. Bankbuster, just based on pure play level, I think there's an argument for that. If you just look at the stats of how heavily cards are played, Bankbuster is #1. And I also think, despite the fact it's not as old of a card, there is an argument for Shieldred, just based on the fact that it is, I mean, it's an $80-ish card, whatever it's sitting at the moment, but $73 card that is in 54% of decks. I know Wizards is never going to say this, and they probably can't ever say this. Lukey, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. They're never going to say it, but if part of the problem with Standard is that it's too expensive, you know what is making it really hard to get into Standard is that more than half of the decks that you want to build require you to spend $230, $220, whatever, on 3 copies of Shieldred. Like, that's a big ask. That's a big ask. If we've had some conversations about Standard being too expensive, these numbers, 473, 444 being too high, you know what would make those numbers look incredibly better? If you didn't have to spend $150 on 2 copies of Shieldred and $100 on a playset of Fable the Mirrorbreaker, then all of a sudden things start to look a little bit more reasonable. Like, those 2 bannings would go a long way towards, look at the rest of the deck. I mean, Blood Tithe Harvester is cheap, Cut Downs, Abrades, Bankbuster is like $5 a copy. Even the mana base, I guess, like, it's not cheap, but the entire mana base is under $100. Like, it's or around $100. It's not Fetchland modern expensive. So I think that would also help with the prices of things, but anyway, everyone, remember that you, Krim, and Richard were down on Shieldred. Were we? I mean, I know there was I'm gonna have to go back. We'll do our spoiler review at the end of the year. I don't remember what I said about Shieldred exactly. I know there was definitely concerns about it not having an ETB. So I definitely remember that being a concern, but I really don't remember exactly what I said. I'm gonna have to go back and find that episode now. Yes. Paper Magic cards are expensive. Those are actual US dollar amounts for buying Magic cards. So anyway, everyone. Hey, thank you so much, Roid Rage Ginger. I appreciate the kind words for the voice. Some people like it, some people don't like it, so it's always nice to get a voice compliment. On that note, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. So reminders on the way out the door, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, tons of stuff coming up on there. One more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some Magic cards, you can get them at cardkingdom.com. Also, if you want to do our viewer battle stream next Tuesday, send me an email, saffronalva@mtggoldfish.com. Tanuki Hero, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll be back on Thursday for another stream. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome. And I love y'all. Thanks for hanging out, messing around in Standard, having some fun. So until then, everyone, have a lovely night. Have a great Wednesday. And I will see you on Thursday. Until then, I will talk to you soon.